SEK Urgent Care, Jocksit Sporting Goods, Kennar Eye Care, the Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union, Lane Lord Basketball Camps, Lindbergh Pharmacy, Pet Care and Surgery Center, Pittsburg State University, and Ryan Insurance.
Now let's go live courtside for tonight's pregame show on ESPN 100.7.
We welcome you back to your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7, for another exhilarating night of Southeast Kansas basketball as the Pittsburg High School Purple Dragons host the Girard Trojans. Alongside Avi Sharma with Shelby White back at our KSHQ studio, Cam Molina with you for this Friday night contest between the Dragons and Trojans. Dragons, who have dropped 2 consecutive games under the tutelage of Chris Krotz, look to end that streak of back-to-back losses against league opponents in a non-conference matchup. But this CNC opponent, Avi, a very talented bunch, is Sidney Crane, the point guard for Brad Herlocker's Trojans, to commit to Pittsburg State University to play under Lane Lord, a very talented Trojan team in front of this young Dragon bunch.
Man, what is it with Coach Krotz finding back-to-back teams that have Pitt State commits already like that? We had Tuesday, and now we have another one tonight, and it should be a great matchup. Looking forward to it. Cameron, we mentioned it Tuesday when we were coming off the air. This is going to be a good CNC SEK matchup that everyone's really excited to look forward to in both the girls matchup and the boys matchup. You saw in the JV game, the PHS girls looked like they did a good job, and they were running their style of offense, creating turnovers. That is what PHS girls need to do, and they need to limit their turnovers.
A dynamic matchup tonight between the Dragons and Trojans. We'll hear about tonight's matchup from the horses' mouths as Coach Chris Krotz of the Dragons, as well as Brad Herlocker of the Trojans, will speak with us here on your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7, in 60 seconds. Back with more Dragon action. You're on your home for Purple Dragon Athletics, ESPN 100.7.
Does your current checking account pay you up to $15 per month? With Common Sense Checking at University Bank, you can earn up to $15 per statement cycle, 10 cents for each swipe after the first 15 swipes. Qualifying is so easy. Simply have one direct deposit or auto payment plus 15 debit card purchases each statement cycle and a $100 opening deposit. Stop by the bank for more information about our Common Sense Checking. Then swipe and save. It's convenience that pays at University Bank. Branch GMB. Member FDIC.
Now accepting new clients. At the Pet Care and Surgery Center, Dr. James Clark believes all of...
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you become part of something more.
We're a family of crimson and gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference.
Everybody wants to stand out
without standing apart.
You belong
at Pittsburg State University.
To ESPN 100.7, your sports headquarters. Cam Molina joined by Pittsburg High School girls basketball coach Chris Krotz. Coach, last time out on the road in Altamont, Kansas, you took on a very talented Labette County team that was suspected to win the SEK this season, but one notable thing about that club is the fact that they have a lot of talent, including Tristan Gegg, but a very remarkable thing happened. Your girls did not step down from the challenge. They did not seem to be intimidated, only trailed by 3 at halftime. Can you touch on your girls' resiliency, 1, and 2, their ability to stay competitive throughout that game?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like they came out ready to play, and, one of the things we've really been working on is, taking care of the ball, and we were able to do that first half. And I felt like we had a pretty decent game plan, but more than that, the girls came out intense, ready to work, ready to get after it, and execute that game plan. The girls played hard first half, and like I said, we were in the game.
And you mentioned about being in the game, one of the catalysts being Madden Petty, as she has been all this year, just a freshman. Did you sense at some point in the game that she was trying to take on the offensive load on her own? Not so much a burden, but she was willing to do it. She scored 28 points, and she seemed to go stride for stride with Tristan Gegg. Do you think that was an impetus for her to maybe step up her game to try to stay with that level of Tristan Gegg?
Yeah, and I think that Madden knows that she's got to help us out on the offensive end. That's kind of her role for this team, is to help us out, get going offensively. And I think part of her maturation process has been, that she's not just relying on the 3 ball. She's looking for opportunities to drive as well and get to the free throw line. And, that helps us and it helps her.
Coach, defensively, we talked about how stalwart your team was in the first half. Second half, not so much. It was a 30-point loss to Levette County. But what difference was there between the first half and second half defensively?
The fact that we didn't get to play much in the half-court defense. When you turn over the ball, it's hard to play good defense. When you're turning it over, allowing them to get out in fast break and in transition to get easy baskets. When we were able to get set in our defense, I still felt like we played pretty decent second half. But, yeah, we got to be able to get set in our defense.
Yeah, that's difficult to do, Coach. And we continually talk about turnovers. Do you somewhat pin that on the youth of your club? I know you have Abby Casper, the senior and kid on the court, but beyond that, freshmen and sophomores abound.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of different factors. I think some of it goes on me and coaching, and we're doing some things in practice now to really try to work on that. Part of it is maturity, and some of it's also execution, and then even some of it we've been working on is it's not the girl that's actually making the turnover's fault. It's sometimes the girls off the ball, cutting hard, coming to the ball, setting good screens, things like that. So we're really trying to focus on that, and hopefully we'll turn the corner here at some point.
Cam Molina currently talking with Pittsburg High School girls basketball coach Chris Cross. And you talk about turning the corner. What needs to happen for you guys to reach that next stage? You obviously have the talent. You have the ability in terms of knowledge. Your girls seem to come in with that fervor on a night-in, night-out basis. Just what is that last missing puzzle piece?
Oh, I think it's turning the ball over. I think it's getting to a point where we're consistently at that 12 to 15 range of turnovers. I think when you get to that point, then there's some little other steps, maybe rebounding and things like that. But right now, the next hurdle is taking care of the ball.
Coach, and we discussed your bench last time we spoke and having that luxury of length coming off the bench with the Pinamatis, and then you've been really bringing in Hendrickson lately. Can you touch on the growth of your bench, and have you seen any jumps from the start of the year up to where they are now?
Oh, yeah, I think our bench has gotten better. Like Ella's thing has been, being a freshman, learning the defensive side of the ball, learning how to play off the ball, how to help, and how to help on screens, hedge on screens, things like that. And as Ella's defense has improved, her playing time has gone up, and definitely helps to give me another post in there to, relieve Kid and Matlock some. So, yeah, she's come a long ways, and Cassidy Odell has come a long ways. She was sick over break and missed a bunch of practices, and now since we've gotten her back and she's feeling healthy, she's going to get some more playing time, and so we're looking at possibility being 8-9 deep on the bench, which is very helpful.
Coach, we rarely talk about it, but I did mention it during our broadcast on Tuesday. Keith Matlock, your assistant coach, has done a splendid job with the JV team. It seems he brings a rare intensity on a night-in, night-out basis. Can you touch on how pivotal he's been for your girls' development?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, he's seasoned. He's seen basketball. He knows what's going on. And it's definitely an advantage to have a coach that you can let, take over, the JV and raise them up in the way that they need to be. And, Keith does a great job. And his intensity is definitely an asset for our team.
Coach, up next, you take on Girard, a CNC opponent, but I have a feeling you've been familiar with the CNC, seeing as your prior school was Baxter Springs. Can you touch on what you expect from them and how will you handle Sydney Crane, a Pitt State recruit?
Yeah, I expect them to, pick us up in the full court and get after us and play good defense. And they're a team that's not going to beat themselves. They're going to do things right, and we better be ready to play.
Once again, that was the Pittsburg High School girls head basketball coach, Chris Krotz. We'll be back with more pregame action as we are joined by Girard Trojans head girls basketball coach, Brad Herlocker, right after this. You're listening to the home of Purple Dragon Athletics on ESPN 100.7, your sports headquarters.
Customer first, safety always. It's not just a tagline, it's the Watco way. By focusing on safety, each and every day they build a future by protecting their customers, team members, community, and the environment. When Watco moves commodities by rail, river, and road, at home or across North America and Australia, their priority is to ensure that they deliver their loads safely and on time. Watco wishes all area teams a safe and successful season.
Let's go back live courtside.
Hello and welcome back to your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7. Cam Molina joined by Girard Trojan girls head basketball coach Brad Herlock. Coach, last time out you were able to take on the SEK opponent in the Parsons Vikings. Your girls struggled in that contest, fell 50-40. However, it seems that the inexperience on your team really reared its ugly head. Have you been able to see a noticeable difference from break up until through the first couple practices of the new year and that game against Parsons with some of your younger players?
Our break, we were finally kind of clicking and finally starting to do some of the things that I wanted us to do all year. And then we took that break. And, I think we took probably a small step back in the game against Parsons. Is our first game out. They'd already gotten a game under the belt. So it was just one of those things where, we regressed a little bit, which is typical of your first game back out. And we hope to take a big step forward tonight.
And in the past, Coach, last 2-3 years, you've had a very competitive team. Last year, the 4A D2 state champions, and there's always that drop-off when you lose a big graduating class. That's the same issue with Pittsburg High School, your upcoming opponent now, and you've been through that ringer before, much like you are now, that you've done in the past, where you have a whole crop of young players and there's that transition period. Can you touch on kind of how difficult it is to manage that transition period?
It is. It's frustrating because, as a coach, you get these kids, at the high school level, and they come to you, and you don't get to pick which ones you get. You just get the ones that are at your school, and you train them, and you get them to where, pretty much that group last year was to a point where I really, they knew exactly what I wanted to have happen at every given time, which is, by the time they get to be seniors, that's what your hopes are, that you do a good enough job with them that they're at that point. And to start all over again, pretty much, we got Sydney Crane back. J.C. Murphy's just now coming back from injury. You have a little bit of help on the court, but overall it's frustrating, because you see those same mistakes, if you've been in coaching very long, happen, just rear their ugly head again, time and time again.
Coach, in discussing that senior point guard and Sydney Crane, obviously a great talent she's talked about a lot through the CNC League and throughout the Southeast Kansas area. You have a penchant of coaching great point guards. You talk about your daughter, Hayden Herlocker, who played for Pitt State for 4 years. Sydney Crane going to Pitt State as she was recruited by them recently. Can you touch on the evolution of her game?
She's a kid that came to us, and she already had quite a bit of skill to her. But she's from day one, just really soaked it all up and really turned herself into, just kind of come full circle. She was a kid that she knew how to score when she came to me, but wasn't necessarily that distributor that I like to have out of the point guard position and finding people and making everybody else on the team better. Then we have obviously the success we have and have some very talented scorers, and a big part of that success was, Sydney finding those people in places, especially last year, did an exceptional job of finding people and making everybody better on the team. And then now this year, her role changes kind of back to where she was at the beginning. We're going to need her to do quite a bit of the heavy lifting in the scoring column, and so she's kind of getting her game back to that. So I think it's been a good mix for her overall. I think, this will serve her very well at the next level to have that about even exposure of, hey, I'm going to be a scorer, I'm going to be a distributor, I'm going to be a scorer. So I think she's got a very well-rounded game.
Cam Molina currently talking with Girard Trojan head girls basketball coach Brad Herlocker. Coach, and sticking on the topic of talented players, you've had a crop of elite players over the last couple of years. Kaylee Augustine, Ashley Ray, who's playing with K-State right now. Then we mentioned Crane. much like your team, Pittsburg High School has a player in Madden Petty, including some other stars, but Madden Petty, a freshman, averaging close to 20 points per game. Can you just touch on the rigors of cultivating some of this young talent, what really goes into it to bring a player from a freshman classification all the way through their senior year and prepare them for what lies beyond?
Well, like I said, as many different situations as you can put them in, and you usually in a high school program get that over the course of their 4 years of fluctuations in talent and things like that. And each and every year, with every player you have, you find out what all the strengths are on your team. And, in practice, you're working on all your weaknesses, but then in games, you put all those strengths out there. And so you find the strengths. It sounds like she's quite a pretty dynamic scorer at this point.
Coach, Pittsburg High School, as we already mentioned, coming up next. Again, a team that has 2 wins on the year, but is very stingy and feisty when it comes to playing their style of defense. Can you touch on what you need to do well tonight to come out with the win?
I've been able to watch them in person a couple times, and I've just been very, very much impressed with how much they get after it, especially the girl that really catches my eye on their team, because I'm a defensive coach, is the Casper girl. Man, her motor never stops, and you just tell she's kind of the heart and soul of the defense, and really the heart and soul of that team. And can't say enough about how impressed I am with her, and she just kind of sets the whole tone for the team. So we're going to be ready for a highly physical, aggressive game.
Once again, that was the Girard Trojan head girls basketball coach, Brad Herlocker.
Stream this online at ESPN1007.com.
And we welcome you back inside the confines of Pittsburg High School alongside Avi Sharma with Shelby White back at our KSHQ studio doing a phenomenal job as our board op tonight. I'm Cam Molina. A non-conference showdown between the Pittsburg High School Purple Dragons and the Girard Trojans. A non-conference showdown, but it's a good opportunity for Girard to gain more experience in the SEK, take a step back from the CNC. They have not played a game yet, but in the same respect, this will prepare them for their upcoming season. Same thing for the Dragons, just in reciprocal fashion. Let's quickly go through the starting lineups as both teams make their way out onto the court and mid-court. Caden Matlock, Caitlin Kidd, Sophia Penamani, Abby Casper, and Madden Petty, the starters for the Dragons. Jordan Ferguson, Drake Worrell, Gabby Sands, JC Murphy, and Sydney Crane, the Pittsburg State University commit, on the floor tonight for the Trojans. And the Dragons will win the tip. Abby Casper will enter the front court wearing her white home uniform, as well as the rest of her confidants with purple letterals and numerals on your dial. They will go right to left offensively. At the point is Casper to deliver a bounce pass right wing. Petty a trifecta. She scored 28 last game against the Grizzlies. Trying to save the basketball is Sophia Penamani. It will deflect off the face of Kidd and tracked down by Jordan Ferguson. Ferguson in transition will push the ball, and losing the basketball on the break is JC Murphy. Murphy ended up going with her self-shoe shiner, and that one goes out of bounds towards the far baseline. It will be a far baseline inbound by Matlock. And the front court has been struggling the last couple of games, Avi, between Matlock and Kidd prior to the Fort Scott and the Labette County matchup, both SEK games, I might add. Between the Chanute and Joplin matchups, Matlock and Kidd combined for 39 points, 28 rebounds. Last 2 games, 18 points, 11 rebounds. So those two will really have to pick up the pace as Casper will drive far side wing, dive bombs inside the key, and then she'll rotate it back outside the perimeter. Petty will again try to slice inside, and she travels. Coach Crot's already barking out orders, trying to soothe his girls, so they're trying to rush everything. But Coach Herlocker's girls end up trying to expedite the pace, and instead it's a turnover, a steal by Casper. Whipping inside is Sophia Penamani, and she's able to score. A good steal that originated with Matlock. She jumped in front of the basketball on the inbound. And speaking of steals, another turnover by the Trojans. Madden Petty going at a frenetic pace, goes to the right-handed left foot layup, and is fouled on her way to the basket. So early on, just a minute into the contest, it is 2-0, and Madden Petty's at the free throw line for her first opportunity to score tonight.
So far, so good for PHS. They are causing turnovers instead of committing the turnovers, something definitely Coach Crotz and company wants to see as Petty sinks in her first free throw. And just like that, a timeout from Girard, Cameron.
So 6:59 remaining in the first quarter of action. 3-0 is the score, and we don't have a very large sample size for the Trojans as they have participated in 6 games this year, but this is only their second game back from break. They played Parsons on Tuesday. They lost by 10 points, but We were able to observe Parson earlier on in the year. Pittsburgh lost to them by 2 points. It was a great comeback effort by Coach Krotz's group. But to have some terrific athletes over there, and Nina Taylor, who's been quite potent this season, and some other high-caliber athletes, it's no surprise that the Trojans, who are really in a rebuilding phase, struggled in that ball game and dropped it by 10 points. But J.C. Murphy, as a freshman, really emerged as a surefire guard for this Trojan team, and Brad Herlocker trusts her and Cindy Crane. It's the surrounding players, the ancillary players, who will really have to step up today, as Madden Petty goes 2-2 from the stripe. 4-0 is the score. Speaking of which, Murphy, right wing, towards the far end of the court, jab steps to her left. Sophia Penamani providing a lot of pressure, harassing her. Murphy tries to dump it off right short corner, and it is a turnover. Worrell wasn't able to reel the pass in. So already 4 turnovers early on by the Trojans. The ball is inbounded in the backcourt. Matlock to Casper, flashing up with Sophia Penamani, who is able to receive a dart from Matlock, and then a shovel pass to Casper, who will whip it over left wing. Petty will scorch inside the lane, and a charge is called on Petty. Either that or a travel. I think it may have been a travel.
Yeah, it looks like it was just a
travel. Yes. Petty has that uncanny ability, though, to percolate inside the lane and score. She is very good at that. An aggressive scorer, I think, is the best way to sum her up. She does not settle for those outside jump shots. Pressure in the backcourt is being applied by the Dragons, and Jada Valley, the freshman, is trying to get out of trouble, and a turnover. Kidd is able to rip away the basketball. Sophia Penamani, near side corner, will deliver a beautiful cross-court pass to Madden Petty, who is able to permeate inside and score. Petty already 4 points for the Dragons. She has been assisted by Sophia Penamani, who has 2 points and the assist on the previous play. Score is 6-0, 6:14 remaining in the first quarter of action, and a foul by Abby Casper, her first and the team's first. But has been a very high-octane action, as Abby Casper will come away with the rip. Sydney Crane did not see her. Casper, again, another harassing defender for this Dragon team. Matlock will fake near side short corner, hop step inside the key, floated up right-handed, and there's a foul on the floor. The shot did go, but it's waved off. And that will be the second foul on the Trojans, the first on Sands. It will be a right side of the goal inbound by Sophia Penamani. She finds Casper, who falls away from the basket. Right-handed fadeaway shot drops, and a beautiful silky shot by Casper. And then in the backcourt, Sands is rushed, and another turnover. And the Dragons, who have been victims of pressure throughout the season, especially with that full court press, Avi, and have really struggled with it, are now applying the full court press and capitalizing off of it. 8 points in the contest thus far, 6 turnovers by the Trojans to begin with.
Cameron, it looks like it's the same story for the Girard Trojans as it is for the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons. We've called it time and time and again with the Lady Dragons that turnovers are a key, and now here it is with the Girard team. But Cameron, I'm looking at this roster, and I see only 2 seniors on this team, so this team is very, very young. They got a lot of pep and work to do to become the great teams that they have been in the past with the championships, as you saw. I don't know if you saw, but Coach Herlocker's got a big ring on his left hand for winning a championship before. And that was last season, in fact, the Class 4A D2 state championship. You talk about Ashley Ray, a freshman at K-State University now, and in addition, Kaylee Augustine, who had a sublime career with the Trojans, as Madden Petty, far side corner, will slice inside. She's unable to finish. The ball's jackknife out of the hand of Petty, who was able to come up with the board. Kidd recovers. Ball swatted out of her hand on the backside by Valley, and it goes out of bounds. Inbound by the Dragons. It will be Kidd, who slaps the leather. Ball is in her right mitt. She scans, and is able to lob the ball into the front court. The ball is gloved by Casper, who swings it left wing to the crown of the apex. The apex of the top of the key will be Petty, who finds Kidd right elbow deuce, does not fall. One arm pass by Ferguson with her right hand to get it over to the right wing. Crane crossing over right to left to right, almost like clockwork, trying to set up Matlock, and then Crane goes to work with some crafty handles, tries to kick it back out to Ferguson left wing. Ball is loose, but somehow is gobbled up by Ferguson. Petty was chugging in, trying to come away with the steal. Sands picks up her dribble near midcourt, and now about 2 steps in front of the midcourt line will be Sands in her maroon attire with yellow numerals and lettering. A good pass on the curl attempt by Brittany Bailey, and Bailey will find a curling Crane, who was fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line shooting a pair.
So the foul is on Sophia Penamani. Second team foul committed by the Dragons in this contest. About 3 minutes into the action, 4:57 remaining in the first quarter of play. Some subs for the Trojans. Kinsey Smith will sub in, as will J.C. Murphy in favor of both Sands and Ferguson. Second free throw by Crane is also good as she knocks down a pair.
Got to be a bit of a sigh of relief, Cameron, that the Trojans now finally getting on the board with 3 minutes in the game.
And Petty on the defensive side of things loses her gray Nike shoe, and in transition, Crane tries to dump it off to Murphy left elbow, and then cherry picking is Petty on the opposite end, inside the key, right-handed finish. Good defense by Bailey as she attempted to recover. She had her hands vertically and her body was stoic. No foul called as Crane in transition gallops inside the key. Bailey with a left arm wild shot does not fall. Good rebound by Petty as Petty accelerates into the front court of play. She finds Casper as she forked it back to Sophia Penamani left corner. Ball's rotated right wing. Petty's trifecta goes up, does not go down, however. So Petty 0-2 from downtown following a rebound by Crane. Crane will pull up inside the horseshoe. Her shot is to the left of the orange that pings off the rim, goes off the window, recovered by Casper. Casper in transition will slow down the cadence left corner, finds Matlock, who swings a right wing. Petty with a great dump-off pass to Matlock. Matlock made a spectacular curling attempt from the left short corner to the right elbow, and Petty found her a beautiful finish as Crane tries to accelerate into the front court, now inside the key in the paint and finishes, and Crane with that start and stop ability, that is superb. Sophia Penamani with pressure in the backcourt finds Casper, who will stop and pop from the free throw line on the offensive side of things, and then Kidd will try to wrestle the offensive rebound away from Bailey, and Bailey will draw the foul. That is Kidd's first and the team's third. A hectic pace from both sides. 3:22 left in the first, and it's an 8-point Dragon lead. 12-4 is the score. Crane into the front court, right side of the horseshoe. She loses the ball off the foot of the curling Valley. Crane is able to recover the ball off the hardwood, and then Madden Petty, who was defending very well at the top of the key against Kinsey Smith, tries to go at the rip, which she has a penchant for, and is called for a foul. Petty just a bit overzealous, and that's just a freshman deal. I understand you have the opportunity to score, but you're up 8 right now early on in the ball game. You have the mentality of being assertive, and you want to continue to pile it on, but just play within your means. Just play good defense, and then the turnover will come eventually, especially the way the Trojans have been playing right now. Just 2 minutes into the ball game, they had 6 turnovers. They have 9 right now as Cassidy Odell for the Purple Dragons comes away with the steal. Petty will go with the Euro step inside the lane, and that is a charge.
That's going to be Petty's second.
And this is the exact same predicament she found herself in during the Fort Scott matchup, where she had 2 early fouls and was benched. Last 2 games, she has scored a combined 33 points, 28 last time out against the Grizzlies in what was a competitive contest in which she took it upon herself to score, quoting the Coach Krotz, against Tristan Gegg, possibly the best SEK scorer in the league's history on both sides. She has claimed that record for most points scored in the league on both boys and girls side. A good bounce pass by Smith to a wheeling Crane, who is unable to capitalize. Far side block. Crane now 1 and 2 from the floor. Casper finds Matlock at the point before whipping it around to Odell left wing. Matlock stepped through, and a beautiful move by Caden Matlock as she had the ball towards her right ear, whipped it in front of her nose, and finished with the offhand. That's a tough move. Dragons lead by 10, 2:15 left in the first, 14-4 the score. Crane pull up, unable to convert. Odell is able to gobble up the board. Odell with 1 steal, 1 board thus far. She really is a do-it-all player for this Dragon bunch, and she really excels at that JV level, and I know Coach Krotz really wants to utilize her. Right wing, Riley Johnson, who subbed in, tries to attempt a trifecta, leaves it just a tad short. Valley is able to secure the board, and in transition, she's dribbling with her dominant right hand, tries to step through against Casper, and Johnson does, leans in and finishes. Valley, a tough shot. That was similar to what Madden Petty has done throughout a majority of this season, split double teams and score in traffic. Kidd and Odell hook up to break the full court press, and this Trojan press has been more bad for Coach Herlocker than good, as it seems a lot of his reserves are fatigued, and these are a lot of young ladies who have limited varsity experience, and for the Dragons, who as a unit who have played about 8 deep consistently, Pittsburgh has an advantage thus far. A minute 30 left in the first, 14-6 the score. Pittsburgh leads by 8. Casper forks it past left wing to Johnson, has the ball cocked above her head before she delivers a strike, left corner to Matlock, who sails it back to Casper, who wheels inside and draws the foul. Good move by Casper, much like Petty, she's adopted that very aggressive style of offense, puts her head down and plows through the lane, and as she barreled, Ferguson commits the foul. So the Dragons have committed 2, or have attempted 2 free throws thus far. They are about to attempt 4 in the game as Casper goes to the line to test out the waters of the charity stripe and knocks down the first. Casper using her right hand to orchestrate the defense out of this next free throw. Casper sets knee level, flicks her wrist, and scores. 2-2 from the charity stripe, 16-6 is the score, and the Dragons lead by 10 with $1:15 left in the first frame. Murphy will bring the ball past the timeline and will dish it out right wing. Ferguson about 3 steps away from midcourt, and the Purple Dragon logo is stationed there. A purple scaly mythical beast, and at the point is Sand following the pass from Murphy. Pulls up inside the free throw line, does not score. Kidd had the rebound for a second, lost it. Matlock is able to secure it. She's already having a spectacular game. In transition, Odell on the run out, right hand finish, and this Dragon team, as told by Coach Krotz, is at his best when they go full speed and run. Up 12, 18-6, 40 seconds left in the first, and a turnover as Gabby Sands throws it into the backcourt. Odell attempted to save it. Odell touched it and went out of bounds, and that's just a situation where the sophomore needs to realize that there's nobody on her. You have 36 seconds left in the first. You have another opportunity to score. Just let the sphere goes out of bounds. Run a half-court set in the first quarter, nearly up 20 points. It's a 12-point lead for the Dragons as Sophia Penamani defends Valley. Valley loses her handle on the sphere, and it fortunately lands in the hands in the right short corner to Worrell, and then it's an attacking Ferguson who then loses her handle on the sphere, much like Sands. It goes out of bounds, and it will remain Trojan basketball as Zoe Penamani will check in for Matlock. It will be a right side of the basket inbounds towards the far side of the court for Valley. A box set ran by the Trojans. Sands will flare, but instead it will be Murphy who goes to the left wing, tries to hoist up a three-pointer and is short. Murphy's first attempt of the night. Odell finds a curling Sophia Penamani, and she travels. Sophia Penamani tried to deke out Worrell, who came flying in for the block attempt, but it looks like she shuffled her feet in the process. Valley has 8 ticks left to put a bucket in. 4 seconds left. Valley kicks it right corner. Sands has a little bit of time, steps into a 3 and leaves it just short. A good look for Sands, but after 1 quarter of play, it's Chris Krotz's Dragons who lead 18-6. A very hectic pace favoring Chris Krotz's girls as they force 10, and I mean 10, first quarter turnovers, and the Trojans struggling mightily to protect the basketball on the road, seeking their 5th victory of the year. Coach Krotz and company wanting to snap a 2-game losing streak. We are back in 30 seconds with the second frame of action here on your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work, like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Stream this online at ESPN1007.com.
And we welcome you back to Pittsburgh High School's gymnasium alongside Avinash Sharma with She'll be right back at our KSHQ studio. I'm Cam Molina. We begin the second quarter of action. Dragons up 12, 18-6. Trojans turn the ball over 10 times in the first quarter of play. As Sand seems lost, she jabs left, jabs right, finds Crane. Left wing extended, and then Crane tries to find an open Worrell in the left corner, and it is a Trojan turnover, their 11th of the contest. Matlock to inbound. in the far corner. I mean, the recesses of the gym. Odell attempts to save it as the ball was trickling towards the score table, and it's a Dragon turnover now with 7:49 left in the half. And Matlock did not have a favorable position in front of the Purple Dragon student section, and it seems to be a blackout night for the Dragon fans as they are all in what appears to be sweatpants and sweatsuits. Picking up her dribble, right elbow, and dishing it off is Smith to an open Crane. Crane loses her handle on the sphere, tries to toss it up in the air. It's recovered by Sand. Sand will dribble with her dominant right hand, defended by Matlock, who is a very versatile defender. She illustrated that against the Grizzlies on Tuesday. Bailey is able to grab the offensive rebound. As she does, she goes back to the basket, steps through. Kidd with a vicious swat. Bailey didn't know what hit her following the offensive rebound. Left wing Odell skips it back to Casper, about 3 steps away from the apex of the arc. Kidd gets a near side elbow high ball screen set by Kidd as the ball's in the midst of Casper. Another ball screen set to the left of Sand. Casper goes to work. Right wing 3 is up and it goes down for Madden Petty. So Petty now 1 of 3 from downtown. 21-6 is the score. Dragons lead it by 15. Crane goes to the hop step, right block floater, no. Good tough rebound by Kidd, finds Petty. Petty finds Matlock, too strong on the ensuing layup, but Petty crashes the board, rips the ball away from Bailey, and then goes straight up and draws the foul. And it would be a disservice to many listeners if I did not explain Brittany Bailey is a 5'11 sophomore, not a lot of time in this varsity unit. But Madden Petty, just a freshman, able to take advantage of Bailey, who made a novice move, bringing the ball below her knees, and then Petty ripped it away and went straight up and drew the foul. She misses her first free throw and her second free throw, so no harm, no foul. As Crane is able to come up with the board. So Crane following the rebound, looks right corner, instead finds Valley at the free throw line, curling inside as Smith from the left wing to the right block. Bailey tries to crash the board, loses her handle on the sphere, and it goes out of bounds. Smith had a tough look there. 21-6 is the score. 6:23 left in the half. Matlock to inbound, looks, finds Kidd who cuts, backcourt, finds Casper cutting towards the far wing. Casper goes up, thought she had a clear lane. Sands swats it away from the backside. Ball is recovered by Kidd. She goes up right-handed and finishes. And Caitlin Kidd, a good finish underneath the basket following the strip by Sands. And Sands, good job being focused and honed in on where the basketball was. And Casper didn't know what hit her. Sands picks up her dribble, far side elbow, finds Valley, who tries to slither to the basket and then goes with a left-hand ice cream scoop shot. Petty is able to recover the rebound following the miss. Speaking of turnovers, Petty turns it over on the opposite end, and then Crane tries to go with a Euro step past Odell on the offensive side of things and rams right into her.
Tell you, Cameron, huge minutes out of Cassidy Odell and the rest of this bench already for PHS, something we haven't seen all year. Great early minutes from these girls.
Sands goes to the bench, both sides with 5 team fouls. Crane picks up her first. Herlocker trying to question the call of the official on the charge, saying that Casper flopped. Odell dribbles with the right hand, accelerates, goes up and draws the contact. Bailey is asking, how is that a foul? And she is frustrated as she is sporting a right arm shooting sleeve, and Odell will go to the free throw line. She currently has 2 points. 23-6 is the score. That is the second foul on Bailey. Odell's first free throw will smooch the lip of the orange, take a quick hop off the backboard, and clangs out to the right side of the rim. Odell with her second opportunity. That one is also no good, and a rebound by Bailey this time, and she's able to covet the ball waist level. Finds Crane on the break. Crane will keep the ball herself. Finds Smith, left short corner, who goes with the step back to Smith, air ball. And a rebound by Casper on the weak side. Casper with 2 boards thus far. Casper finds a recently subbed in Ella Hendrickson. Hendrickson finds Johnson, right back to Hendrickson, who loses the sphere. It goes out of bounds towards the near baseline. 5:15 left in the half. 23-6 is the score. And how about this erratic pace from both sides, Avi? You cannot really get an idea of what speed both teams will go out with. It seems Pittsburgh is keen to run some half-court sets when Coach Krotz wants to, but every other time it's grab the rebound, push in transition. Same thing with the Trojans, and Cassidy Odell will commit a foul.
And Cameron, we've seen this before. The Purple Dragons struggled whenever they had to go against the press. Today they've beaten the press multiple times and got easy buckets on them.
Right short corner towards the far side of the court. It is Smith, whips it around to Murphy. Crane goes 1-2 steps and tries to hook the ball in. Petty with her 4th rebound of the night. 9 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist for her. Casper raises her left hand and curls her hand into a fist to initiate the half-court set. And then Madden Petty makes an error in judgment as she tried to deliver a fastball to Kidd on the right elbow, but it was stolen away by Bailey. And Smith will attack far side elbow, tries to thread in a bounce pass to a cutting Crane towards the far baseline, and a whole platoon swap for the Trojans following the next dead ball. Kidd has the ball brought above her head, her ponytail wagging behind her. Casper at the apex of the arc loses the basketball on the right short corner, picks it back up. Petty left wing steps into a 2, unable to convert. The offensive rebound in the hand of Kidd. She goes right back up and finishes. Good job both by Petty and Kidd to keep that offensive sequence alive. Crane and her teammates down 19, 25-6. They have had a scoreless second quarter. Petty comes away with a steal. Read the pass from Murphy to Valley. Petty goes up, finishes with a strong hand. She is 3 of 3 from inside the horseshoe. 4 of 6 on the night, 11 points, 5 rebounds, and Coach Herlocker needs to stop the bleeding. It is a 9-0 run in this second quarter of play with 3:46 left in the half. And the Purple Dragons have absolutely dominated this ball game. And the Pittsburgh State commit in Sydney Crane has had no answers to support her team, as she has only been able to muster 3 points, and a plethora of turnovers have hampered this Trojan team. We are back in 30 seconds with your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
Advanced technology, comprehensive quality care. That's Canar Eye Care. We have the newest technology, but we never lose sight of what's most important, our patients. Eye care has changed dramatically in recent years, and we've been there for you every step of the way. At Canar Eye Care, patients spend time with doctors. Total eye care, from contact lenses, including bifocal contacts, treatment of disease, and surgical co-management. Canar Eye Care, the clear choice.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Stream this online at ESPN1007.com.
A 21-point lead for Chris Krotz's Dragons against the 4A D2 opponent in the Girard Trojans. 3:46 left in the half. The Dragons up 21 at home following the loss to the Grizzlies. And Avi, you and I knew this latent potential was here. It was just about pulling it out at the right time, and the Dragons have really hit their stride the last couple of games. Petty, another forced turnover, goes up, goes with the ball above her head. 1-2 past to Sky and Kinsey Coster, who subbed in for the Trojans, and finishes. Petty has been perfect inside the horseshoe. 4-4, 13 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. Petty again tries to go with the steal, attempting to rip the ball out of the hands of Worrell, and that is her 3rd foul as she looked to have nicked Worrell's wrist. So Petty's half is over, but I think Coach Krotz is okay with her riding the bench at this point, and Petty visibly frustrated, and Krotz does not want Petty to have that attitude, and that's just a freshman who has a lot of passion. As the first free throw is good for Worrell. It is a 1-and-1 opportunity following the 17th foul committed by the Dragons. Worrell with her first 2 free throw opportunities of the night. But as mentioned before, Avi, this Dragon team, we've seen the potential, and it was on full display Tuesday against the Grizzlies. They lead the SCK. They have Tristan Gegg, a Pitt State commit, much like Sydney Crane. They're probably going to win the league and have a trip to state and really compete there. As on the offensive end of things, Sophia Penamani is able to save the basketball following a near turnover by Odell. Casper is able to work the ball to Odell, right wing. Matlock pulls the trigger on a deuce, right elbow, and knocks it down. Matlock has been extremely accurate, but the Dragons were neck and neck with the Grizzlies through the first half of play, only trailed by 3, and that's saying a lot against the team that won the SEK last season. Ferguson delivers a bullet pass with the right hand, right wing. Crane needs to get something going. Her team trailing 31-8 and a double dribble by Crane. And it's uncharacteristic to see Crane struggle this much. And, of course, she's working with a new supporting cast. As mentioned before, a lot of turnover. You lose a D1 prospect like Ashley Rand, that 6'3" height. Crane steals it in the front court away from Odell. Casper's able to save it as Crane lost it off of her knee. Matlock stops in the front court. Will pitch it backwards to Casper. Casper uses her left hand to try to orchestrate the offense. Defending Casper is Koster. Koster tries to dive bomb Kidd and rip it away. She does just that. A bad read by Kidd, but then Koster tries to fork it over to Sands in transition. Shand wasn't ready. Sophia Penamani goes up with the layup with the right hand, but Crane meets her at the top and swats it away. Last touch by Sophia Penamani. 2:12 left in the half. 31-8 is the score. Coach Herlocker used a timeout with 3:45 left in the half. Prior to that timeout, the Dragons went on a 9-0 run. And in this second quarter, the Dragons are winning the scoring endeavor 13-2. And another turnover by the Trojans. They've had a numerous amount of those. Valley will sub in for Koster. Ferguson will come out for Murphy. Worrell will go to the bench as well. And Bailey will come back in for the Trojans to have a bit more size inside. Matlock to inbound. Looks, finds Casper. Far sideline, looks for an open Odell, right-hand floater, does not convert. Bailey tries to wrestle away the rebound from Penamani, but Penamani and Bailey get tied up, and it's a foul on Sophia Penamani, and that is the 8th team foul committed by the Dragons. No foul. I think Penamani may have stepped out of bounds, and that was not signaled by the official. I was left up to determine whether it was a foul or out of bounds. 1:45 left in the half. Murphy brings the ball below her waist, stops at the free throw line, tries to pitch it back to Valley. Valley has to save it as the ball nearly trickles past the midcourt line. Sands with her butt to the waist of Matlock as she finds a curling Valley who's unable to convert. And then Kidd, who tries to come up with the rebound, loses it, attempts to save it. It goes out of bounds. It will be Girard basketball. It will be an inbound by Murphy, left side of the basket towards the far baseline. Another box set, dual cross screen set. Bailey catches. Near side block. It is pitched back to Murphy, who looks for Sands, far side elbow, and finds a cutting Crane. Crane tries to knife inside, goes up right-handed, but it's blocked by Kidd, and a late foul is called. And this one seems to be on Kidd, which would be her second. A minute 20 left in the half. 31-8 is the score. 2 on Kidd, 3 on Petty. Crane will set her feet staggered. Her first free throw, no. Crane is now 1 and 2 from the free throw line. She will have her third opportunity of the night following the timeout used by Coach Krotz. $1:20 left in the half. 31-8 is the score. All Dragons at home. We are back in 30 seconds with your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
Are you tired of all those confusing checking account options? The Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union makes your choice simple. We only have one option. Our checking account has no monthly fees, and if you maintain a $2,000 minimum balance, we pay you interest. Get the Credit Union Advantage at 416 North Broadway or call 620-231-5719 for more information. Deposits are federally insured by NCUA up to $250,000.
Stream this online at ESPN1007.com.
Sydney Crane returns to the free throw line following the timeout used by Coach Krotz of the Dragons. 1:20 left in the half, and Crane goes 0-2 from the stripe. She's 1-3 from the black bar. Rebounded by Kidd. Her third board of the night. Sophia Penamani rotates it to Casper, who finds Odell left wing. Back to Sophia Penamani, right wing extended. Left elbow is Odell before she finds Sophia Penamani, attempts the three-pointer. She dialed in but was unable to have anybody answer. Cassidy Odell, weak side offensive rebound. Casper controls the rock. Casper wheels towards the right circle, finds Matlock, left short corner, who pokes back up, left elbow, Sophia Penamani. Casper, who takes a hop step, right block, and scores. Excellent ball movement by the Dragons, an unselfish brand of basketball. Thusly, it has led to a 33-8 lead. Crane picks up her dribble free throw line towards the far end of the court. Valley finds a sliver and tosses it up. A runner with the right hand. She had no control over the basketball, and that's just a greenhorn move. A freshman trying to work her way inside her club, trailing by 25 right now with 30 seconds left and just trying to get something to go. Murphy to inbound left side of the basket, far into the court. Bailey catches Ella Hendrickson. Reddick got a hand in there, so it wasn't a clean catch by Bailey. Left short corner, Sands air ball. Rebound by Cassidy Odell. Has a little bit of time left. Back to Casper, 12 seconds left. Coach Krotz makes an okay signal with his right hand, so it's a half-court set. 6 seconds left. Odell goes to the basket, right-hand runner, no. Hendrickson comes up with it, loses it. Crane covets the rebound, tosses it up mid-court, and it's nowhere close. So after one half of action, Pittsburg High School has absolutely dominated, 33-8. Through half of the second quarter, the Dragons did not allow a basket. They went on a 9-0 run before Drake Worrell scored from the free throw line, and they'll lead by 25 at intermission, 33-8. We are back in 2 minutes with the halftime report, where we will bring you first half statistics as well as a look into the third quarter and fourth quarter of play. We are back with your home of Purple Dragon Athletics on ESPN 100.7, your sports headquarters.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent Cousins with SEK.
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you become part of something more.
We're a family of crimson and gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference.
Everybody wants to stand out.
Without standing apart.
You belong.
At Pittsburg State University.
What do you want from your bank?
Access to my account information on my phone.
Security, convenience, and friendly staff.
When I call, I want to speak with a real person.
I want it all. Low fees, low loan rates, and high deposit rates.
What if there was a place like this in your community? There is. Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union, with locations in Pittsburg, Fort Scott, Independence, and Coffeyville, serving area residents since 1949.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Headquartered in Richmond, Kansas, QSI Quality Structures Incorporated specializes in designing and building complete post-frame buildings. We provide structures built to withstand a 30-pound ground snow load and a 90-mile-per-hour wind shear built to the most stringent codes. Whether you need a garage, agricultural building, commercial facility, or custom-built design, we're your one-stop shop for post-frame buildings. QSI. Everything we do is right on cue.
And we welcome you back to your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7, alongside Avi Sharma. She'll be right back at our KSHQ studio. Cam Molina with you for this Friday night CNC SEK clash. Right now, the Southeast Kansas League getting the better of the CNC League as the Dragons lead 33-8 at home. After the first quarter of play, it was 18-6. The Dragons went on a 9-0 run up to the midway point of the second quarter, and the Trojans were able to score one more time, courtesy of Drake Worrell. But Avi, this Trojan team, I would say upwards of 20 turnovers so far in this ballgame. That's just within a half of action. In the first quarter, they had 10 alone, and the Dragons doing everything right. They are applying pressure, running in transition, capitalizing off the forced turnovers, taking good, effective, efficient shots, and being unselfish with the basketball. I think this may be the cleanest game the Dragons have played thus far.
I don't think you could have said it any better, Camo. It was phenomenal basketball play all around by the Purple Dragons. They just did a great job offensively, defensively, just all around. And I can't credit enough how good this bench has been for PHS. You know, we talk about Madden Petty a lot and how she carries the team offensively. Tonight, that's not the case. Every single player is getting their opportunity, and they're scoring when they can. Kidd, Matlock, Casper, they're all putting up good shots, and it's taking a lot of stress off of Petty. Petty normally has to take up those hard shots, get in the lane, try to cause a foul. Not this time. Everybody else is stepping up and doing a great job.
Petty is a natural scorer, and you and I have been able to see that on full display time in and time out. She dropped 28 and stood toe-to-toe with Tristan Gay, possibly the best scorer in SEK League history. Was only off 3 points from Geg's total of 31 on Tuesday, and tonight she already has 13 so far this season, averaging close to 18 a game. But she's done a fantastic job taking effective shots. She has 3 fouls thus far. Let's get into the specifics with the first half stats. Caden Matlock, 3 of 3 from the field, 6 points, a rebound, and a steal. Caitlin Kidd, 4 points, 3 rebounds. Cassidy Odell off the bench, and you mentioned how stellar the bench has been for Coach Krotz, 2 points, 3 rebounds, and a steal. Sophia Penamani, 2 points, 2 rebounds, and assist. Abby Casper has 6 points and 2 rebounds. And as for Madden Petty, 13 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist in this ball game. And as for the Trojans, Jordan Ferguson with 1 rebound, 2 points for Drake Worrell. She went 2 of 2 from the stripe. 1 rebound by Bailey. Sydney Crane with 4 points, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, including a rebound, and then 2 points for Valley in this contest. And I know I mentioned it earlier, but this is a Trojan team that is very young. Last season, Coach Herlocker potentially, in my opinion, as I observed the team, and I did announce for them for about 2 or 3 years, that was possibly the best team he has ever had en route to a Class 4A D2 state championship, with Ashley Ray manning the middle as the anchor with that 6'4" height, Kaylee Augustine, and a verse scorer and defender, Sydney Crane, playing well off of everybody. But since those players are gone, you have to start anew, and it's much like what Coach Krotz is doing. You do have a couple seniors who have a lot of talent and are experienced, but beyond that, it's sophomores and freshmen. It's just about getting them into the starting lineup. The positive and the benefit that these Dragons have is that they had a starting lineup that has been relatively solid and consistent throughout the year. The only real change has been the swap out of Riley Johnson, Sophia Penamani, and Madden Petty being upgraded to the starter role after the Walnut Grove matchup. But beyond that, this team has been extremely consistent about who they play. For the Trojans, I mean, you're talking illnesses, injuries to J.C. Murphy, Kaylin Flaherty, who was a great bench player a year ago for the Trojans, who was expected to be a full-time starter this year. It's just a lot of bad luck for Coach Herlocker, and it's trying to manage all of the pieces you have and then appraising their ability and figuring out how their talents fit in at certain positions and how well they can play, and within an amount of time they are able to play. So there are so many factors, so many elements playing into all this. As you hear the screams in the background inside PHS, it's the half-court shot contest, and one student made it, but there's just a lot of work with for Coach Herlocker. He's a guy with over 200 wins in his career. He knows what he's doing. It's just going to be a rebuilding period for this Trojan team, and credit Coach Krotz. Despite all the struggles, the scrutiny, he's been able to fight through that and build this SEK club from practically scratch. You talk about the turnovers the Dragons had over the last couple of years, especially last season as they lose Muff and Lord, 2 premier players for this Dragons team, and made a run at 5A state and just wasn't able to reach where they wanted to. But just really enveloping this season were a lot of questions. How would this team perform? And thus far we were able to get our answer through the first 6-7 games this season. It was, this is a rebuilding process, but the last 2 games, including tonight, we've seen that this team, with the right tutelage, with Coach Krotz at the helm, this team could be something special. Madden Petty is a once-in-a-4-year span scorer for this Pittsburg Highest team. You have size down low. Matlock will be around for a couple more years. Zoe Penamani, Sophia Penamani are diverse defenders. You have a bench that is starting to mature, so there's a lot working for this Dragon team. And with about 5:30 left before the beginning of the second half, we will take a 2-minute commercial break and then come back with some more thoughts heading into the second half of action. You're listening to your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent Cousins with SEK Urgent Care. When you're sick, when you're injured, or when you just don't feel like yourself,
What do you want from your bank?
Access to my account information on my phone.
Security, convenience, and friendly staff.
When I call, I want to speak with a real person.
I want it all. Low fees, low loan rates, and high deposit rates.
What if there was a place like this in your community? There is. Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union with locations in Pittsburg, Fort Scott, Independence, and Coffeyville, serving area residents since 1949.
Headquartered in Richmond, Kansas, QSI Quality Structures Incorporated specializes in designing and building complete post-frame buildings. We provide structures built to withstand a 30-pound ground snow load and a 90-mile-per-hour wind shear built to the most stringent codes. Whether you need a garage, agricultural building, commercial facility, or custom-built design, we're your one-stop shop for post-frame buildings. QSI. Everything we do is right on cue.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
And we welcome you back to your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7, 3 minutes away before the third quarter of action starts between the Pittsburg High School girls basketball team and the Girard Trojan girls basketball team. Brad Herlocker aiming to take his girls to a 5-2 record. Coach Kratz just trying to make his way up to that 500 mark. The girls currently standing at 2-6, but an excellent job tonight, leading 33-8, outscoring the Trojans in the second quarter, 15-2. And Avi, we've preached about how this team is developing very well under the tutelage of Coach Kratz. Defensively, from day one against Lewisburg up until now, this looks like a completely different squad.
Absolutely, Cameron. They are playing very, very well. And I mean, we saw a spark of it in the first half Tuesday, and then it went away. This team is, I would say they're that one step away from being the team that they should have been all year long. It just needed that chemistry in the couple games to get in their system to figure it out, and they're doing just that, and they were playing great basketball, up 33-8 already in this game.
And for the Trojans, we look at this team, and I think the first thing Coach Herlocker wants to change is the amount of turnovers in this contest. Through the first quarter of play, the Trojans turned the ball over 10 times alone. Second quarter, I lost count. It's just how rushed this team is and the brand of defense that Pittsburg High School plays. We've seen some full-court press and half-court traps be implemented by the Dragons in that first half of action. I don't think we'll see that go away. I don't think the Dragons are going to pull any punches until the fourth quarter when the game is secured. But up until then, I think we're going to see an array of defensive looks from the Dragons. They're really going to blitz this Trojan team with everything that is in their back pocket, in their tool shed. But I think the Dragons, this is an excellent time, as talked about for a second, to work on some of those defensive sets and really focus on, hey, let's get in the passing lane. Let's work on our defensive IQ when we can read those defenses, because we have another matchup against Parsons. We have another matchup against Labette County, another matchup against Fort Scott. It's not a one-and-done deal. And then next week you talk about the Border Classic here in Pittsburg High School. You have some terrific teams showing up, and against East Tulsa Central, it's not going to be an easy matchup against a very talented team there, including some of the other competitors Pittsburg High School will face. So this is a really good warm-up on a Friday for the Dragons to not only gain some confidence, but to focus on some of those less run sets and to really become more familiar with those. And I know you have practice and you have the chance to work through that, go step by step, but until you actually get into a game, for a coach, you don't know how your team's going to respond until you get into a game time situation with the young players, with your starters, and try to execute these plays. You don't know how well it will go because your mind's going a million miles an hour on the hardwood. Judgment could be impaired, but for the Dragons, to their benefit, they've run the half-court trap very well tonight, and some of their half-court offensive sets very well, too. They found Kidd and Petty several times on curls and cuts as we begin the third quarter of play. 33-8 the score. Dragons lead by 25. Casper hands off to Petty, far wing, as the Dragons on your dial will go left to right offensively. Crane is able to nearly purloin the ball. She lost her handle on it, and it's a scrum towards the far sideline in front of the Pittsburg High School fan section, and it will be a jump ball. Trojans will commandeer the sphere with 7:47 left in the third, trailing by 25. They have not hit the double-digit mark offensively. Right wing Murphy looking to skip it. She'll settle for a chest pass to the top of the key to Whirl. Crane is closed out by Casper. Crane has a little bit of wiggle room. She'll try to scoop it right-handed. Whirl with the offensive rebound. Ferguson with the offensive rebound, but it's deflected by Kidd. Crane 1 of 4 from the field in the ball game. Kidd right elbow deuce falls. And that's another thing about the Dragons forwards is Matlock and Kidd have the propensity to stretch the floor too, knocking down those 10 to 15 footers. Crane with an in and out move and an offensive foul. I think Casper nudged Worrell out of the way, and that is Casper's second. And the team's first foul of this third quarter. 7 minutes left in the third. 35-8 is the score. Crane to inbound near baseline with Pittsburgh lettering across the baseline. That is purple. Murphy delivers an oblong bounce pass right corner to Crane. Crane hesitates, goes left to right. Casper defending very well. Sands will take 2 steps away from the top of the yard, rotated over to Worrell. Worrell will holster the ball, triple threat to her right hip, and then delivers a bounce pass that's stolen away by Casper, recovered by Kidd as Casper was unable to handle it, and then Kidd finds Casper on the bounce pass. A civil pass by Petty to Kidd, finds Matlock, and the right-hand floater drops.
That's by number 22, Sophia Penamani.
Correction, Sophia Penamani scores on the right-hand floater towards the far block. 37-8 is the score. 6:30 left in the third. Far side elbow. It will be Worrell who picks up the basketball. No dribble. She's looking for a curling Crane, and it's a turnover. And it's just the young players and how stressed they are in the inability to really think through and be cognizant of certain situation. Petty drives, and she pushes the shoulder into Ferguson, and as the off shoulder goes into Ferguson, Petty misses. Sophia Penamani ties up with Ferguson as the ball's on the hardwood. Jump ball, Purple Dragon sphere. That's Petty's first miss from inside of the circle. Murphy, Worrell will sub out. Valley and Bailey will go in. Sophia Penamani inbounding from the far baseline, delivers a beauty fastball to the left wing. Matlock will fade back down after delivering a pass to Casper. Casper wants the high ball screen. Instead, it will be a high post set as Kidd flashes to the high post. Casper takes it under her own accord to the right short corner, pulls the trigger on it, 2 misses, and it goes out of bounds. No one there to rebound. Under 6 to go in the third. 37-8 is the score. Crane past the prime meridian, delivers a beeline pass right wing to Sands. Bailey has it, chins the basketball. Sophia Penamani reads the pass to Valley, gets in the passing lane, almost comes away with the steal, and then it was a rush pass again. Casper forces the turnover. Petty sets her feet for a trifecta to the right side of the orange, rebounded by Penamani, and a foul on the floor. So Petty misses the three-pointer. She's 1 of 4 from downtown, 5 of 9 total from the field. There will be an inbound from the left side of the goal from Kidd to Casper, right back to Kidd, right-handed finish. Caitlin Kidd and Abby Casper, the senior hookup. 31-point lead for the Dragons, their largest of the season. A chest pass right wing to Sands. Bailey, left wing 3 from Crane that saucers out and a foul away from the basketball. And it will be on Casper, her third. 3 on Casper, 3 on Petty, 2 on Kidd in terms of foul issues in the ball game. With 5:15 left to go in the third, it's 39-8. Dragons lead at home, seeking their third victory of the year. Valley to inbound with her maroon and yellow uniform. It is a Nike brand uniform. Valley all day finally finds Crane. Straightaway 3, left side of the orange, rebounded by Petty, her 6th board of the night. Wasting no time trying to push the issue, but instead loses it, and then trying to cross over Valley. She does escape, nearly a 10-second violation, but Petty has a little bit of wiggle room, goes inside the key, goes to the right left foot, Euro step, and is fouled on her way to the basket by Bailey. I think that's 3 on Bailey, and it would be the team's second foul, that is for sure, and it is on Bailey, her third. 5 minutes left in the third. Valley was trying to rush Petty and paid for it. Petty's free throw good. Will shoot her 5th and 6th attempts of the night. Smith and Murphy sub in for Ferguson and Sands. 40-8 is the score. Dragons up 32. Petty goes 2 of 2 from the stripe. She's 4 of 6, 15 points, 6 rebounds, and an assist. Crane crosses the midcourt line, dribbling towards the far wing. Turns her back towards Matlock again, who's a very versatile defender. A multifaceted weapon as Smith is able to shovel the ball into the chest of Murphy. Murphy loses it after a foul by Sophia Penamati. She outstretched both arms, barreling into Murphy, who lost her handle on the sphere. That is Penamati's second. Third team foul committed by the Dragons, and the Dragons, speaking of which, already on an 8-0 run to start the third, but a missed shot by Bailey, recovered by Murphy, and Crane, after the Bailey miss, is able to grab the rebound and score. So a lot of misses and some offensive rebounds for the Dragons, or I beg your pardon, for the Trojans. 41-10 is the score, so the 8-0 run ends there. Petty at the point, rotates the ball. Johnson right wing. That one is off to the left, rebounded by Crane. Crane now has 3 boards on the night and 6 points. Thought about stopping and popping, but instead will look for Bailey, who scores with the offhand. Bailey's first field goal on the night, and a timeout used by Coach Krotz. 41-12 is the score. Midway through the third quarter of play, back-to-back baskets scored by the Trojans after an 8-0 run to start the third by Pittsburg High School. We are back in 30 seconds with your home of Purple Dragon Athletics on ESPN 100.7, your sports headquarters.
When the lights come up on Friday and Saturday nights at high schools and colleges across the region, it's often on a field built by Crossland Construction. Many Crossland employees played on those fields and were educated in the schools that are thriving parts of our communities today. Crossland is a proud supporter of area athletics and urges you to be a part of your local school community. Many of the athletes playing today may help Crossland build across our region in the future. Check out career opportunities at crossland.com. Crossland Construction, build you.
Stream this online at ESPN1007.com.
Not only are the Dragons winning on the scoreboard, the turnover margin, but the rebounding battle as well. They are +8 right now, 16-8 as Odell on the fast break finds Kidd, right hand inside finish, and Caitlin Kidd is so focused when she goes to that dominant right hand, and she proves to be extremely efficient on the night. 5 of 6 from the floor, 10 points, 3 rebounds. Crane, speaking of an inefficient night, has now dropped to 2 of 6 from the floor, 2 of 4 from the line, 6 points, 3 rebounds, as the D2 future player for the Pittsburg State Gorillas has had a rough go of things. Her club down 31-43-12. Kidd has the ball jarred out from behind by Murphy. Bailey recovers, has Crane right wing, stops and pops from outside the arc, knocks down her first trifecta of the night. So Crane, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 43-15 the score, and has been a 7-point third quarter for the Trojans. That is almost more than the first half combined. 3 minutes left in the third, 43-15 the score. Odell, beautiful dart to Kidd, inside the key, back to Casper, far side short corner, Matlock takes 2 dribbles, loses it, finds Casper again, uncorks a trifecta. That one is off kilter. Crane tracks down the rebound. Despite being 5'6", doing a great job finding those loose boards. Valley slithers into the lane and scores with a right and left finish. Valley 2 of 2 from the floor right now, 4 points and a rebound. Matlock inbounds to Casper. And a 9-point third quarter for the Trojans already exceeds their first half output in a travel by Matlock in the backcourt. Following the full court press by the Trojans, 43-17 the score. Will be a Trojan inbound near side baseline for Crane. Coach Urlacher, always a great mentor as he's talking with the sophomore Bailey on the bench. Crane will find Murphy backcourt, skips it left wing. Crane, her 3 on its way off the lip of the iron, ball still loose. Murphy tracks it down. That is Murphy's second rebound of the night. Murphy over to Crane, who is 1 of 3 shooting from deep, is able to worm her way inside the key and then tries to lob a pass to Sands. Turnover. 2 minutes left in the third, 43-17 the score. Casper brings the ball below her waist, finds Matlock, who relocates the ball left wing to Odell. Ball skipped to Petty, right wing, back to Casper. Odell, left circle, will skip it over to Petty again. Her straightaway right wing three is a beaut. 2 of 5 from behind the arc, 6 of 10 from the floor, 4 of 6 from the line, 18.6 rebounds. You talk about scoring performances, and then you talk about efficient scoring performances. Petty is having one of those nights. Crane pick and roll with Worrell, who's an undersized 4, misses her shot. Odell is able to grapple onto her 4th rebound on the night before finding Casper and receives a very helpful pass back from Casper, skips it right short corner, back out as Petty, who reverses, shoots the 3, and that one's no go. 2 of 6 from deep now. Crane shuffles a pass back to Smith, who finds Murphy, right wing extended, crosses over right to left. That was premeditated, and Odell nearly read it and stole it away. Murphy with the inside hand floater, no. Casper delivers a beeline pass right wing. Petty goes with the Euro step, brings the ball above her forehead, misses. Kidd with the offensive board, she misses. Petty recovers, goes up, and is whipped on the right arm and is fouled, and Murphy wants a break as she's tugging towards the collar of her jersey with 51 seconds left in the third. It's a 45-17 lead for the Dragons. So Petty with free throws, her first is good. As she prepares to shoot her 8th attempt of the night, Smith and Crane sub out. Murphy will stay in. Ferguson will come in. And I'm trying to see who else came in. I think Sands came in, and that is the additional sub for the Trojans. Sophia Penamani will check in for the Dragons. As Petty goes 1 of 2 from the stripe, she's 5 of 8 on the night. As a unit, 7 of 12. World delivers a pass left corner. Murphy tries to take a hop through the near side circle and pass the basketball. Odell had a hand in the passing lane and ended up smacking Murphy in the face, all unintentional. Johnson back in the ball game for Odell. Murphy falls down left elbow, and Valley with about 4 seconds on her backside with the official raising 4 fingers. It was nearly an inbounds violation. 30 seconds left in the third, 46-17 the score, and a foul by the Dragons as the mid-range jump shot did fall in succession as Sands' shot is waved off, and it is on Matlock. That's Matlock's first and the team's 5th. Murphy to inbound, finds Sands. Sands steps through, dribbles with her non-dominant left hand. 22 seconds left in the third. Bounce pass, Petty reads it. Purloins the basketball, goes up right, left, finishes +1. A terrific Euro step by Madden Petty, and an exclusive finish at the rim. That is where she has been living most of the evening. My goodness, Madden Petty, so poised, so vigilant. She has the making of a superstar for the Dragons. And I know high school basketball at times by the media can be a bit misconstrued just because everyone's so focused on the professional level, but my goodness, Madden Petty's a great player, especially for the high school ranks. 49-17 the score, 32-point lead for the Dragons, attacking far side baseline as Murphy. She draws a foul with 7.8 seconds remaining in the third, and a chance to bring it within 30 for the senior. Foul on Johnson. And Murphy will set her feet staggered at the free throw line right in front of left with black ankle braces, takes 2 dribbles, sets her elbow inside of her shooter's pocket, flicks and scores. Her first free throw down, she has a second one awaiting her. Zoe Pinamani will come in for Matlock with 7.8 seconds to go. And this has been a Dragon game wire to wire. Murphy goes 2 of 2. 49-19 the score, 30-point game. Petty takes it under her own power, loses it. Rebound by Hendrickson, and she scores right before the basket. Ella Hendrickson was there to clean it up. So she has 2 points and a rebound off the bench. And what a sensational game for the Pittsburg High School Purple Dragons that has medaled towards the bottom of the SEK League this season. All notions of reaching an SEK title have been thrown out the window, but my goodness, with the midseason tournament next week and an opportunity to beat some of the teams that they have lost to in previous weeks in the league, including Parsons, Fort Scott, as well as LeBette County, this game, I think, will be the game we look back on in a couple weeks, and we'll say that was the turning point in the season for Coach Krotz and this Dragon Club. 51-19 the score. We'll be back with the fourth quarter of play here on your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
If you want to improve your basketball skill set, you need to attend one of the Lane Lord basketball camps. Each camper receives individual attention and specific coaching adapted to age and skill level. There's something for everyone. A grade school camp for girls entering 3rd through 8th grade, a high school team camp available on 2 different weekends with both varsity and JV levels of competition, plus satellite camps throughout the summer. All campers receive instruction from head coach Lane Lord, head assistant Amanda David, along with former and current players. For more information, visit them online at lanelordbballcamps.com. Coach Lord and Coach David have seen tremendous success over the past several years, and they begin their recruiting at these camps, with over 20 former campers being signed. Visit lanelordbballcamps.com.
Stream this online at ESPN1007.com.
We have running clock in the fourth quarter of action. It is a 51-19 game. To begin the fourth quarter, Sydney Crane able to draw a foul. It's the third committed by Cassidy Odell. And we welcome you back to your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7, whether you are watching on our live stream at ESPN100.7.com or on the dial alongside Avi Sharma. Shelby White back in our KSHQ studio. Cam Molina with you. It has been all Dragons all evening as we segue into the night as we're about the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour. Crane goes 1 of 2 from the stripe. She is 3 of 6 on the evening as Casper is able to bring in the board. 51-19 entering the fourth quarter play. It is 51-20 right now. Dragons with the commanding 31-point lead. Valley's able to rip the ball away from Kidd. Goes up right-handed, does not score, and a foul is called against Casper. That one's a bit questionable. Valley initiated the contact. Casper had her hands straight up, and she seems a bit puzzled as she had her jaw drop momentarily, but picked it back up. 6:30 left in the ball game. 51-20 is the score. Again, 4 on Casper, 8th team foul. Valley will have 2, but the Trojans are also in the bonus. Valley's first free throw will take a healthy Trojan bounce, double time, twice off the back iron and through the bottom of the nylon. Sophia Penamani will sub in for Abby Casper, and Coach Krotz electing to keep in the starters up 29 as it is 51-22 following Valley's made free throws. And a 5-second count in the backcourt as Matlock attempted to inbound to Petty, who has 21 points and 7 boards on the night. Murphy to sub in. And I completely understand what Coach Krotz is trying to do. He has a relatively young team. 2 seniors in the starting rotation. The rest are sophomores, so might as well give them a chance to learn outside of Petty, I might add. That's the one caveat there. Petty is a freshman, and a travel by Valley. She tried to wheel inside the key, but give your starters more experience. In the same respect, you may want to deepen that bench as you head towards the latter portions of the season, especially with the tournament coming up in about 2 to 3 games in 2 to 3 days as Odell finds Casper in transition on the leak out. Odell delivered a beauty of a pass and went to the near side short corner. Petty recovered but missed the lay-in, and then a rebound on the weak side by one of the Trojan players, and then Kidd fouled. That is 3 on Kidd. 3 on Kidd, 9 on the Dragons in this second half. Under 5 to go in the ball game. Valley will sub out. Ferguson in. Smith also on the hardwood for the Trojans as Bailey will shoot a 1-and-1, and her free throw is no good. Kidd with her 5th rebound of the night. Petty is able to wiggle inside and draws contact yet again, and I mentioned how assertive and aggressive she is. At times, she gets a bit overzealous. That time, Ferguson stepped over and nearly a charge call, but Ferguson is called for the block. It's the 3rd on Ferguson, and Petty will go to the free throw line shooting a pair. She's 5 of 9 right now. She's 6 of 10 with the 11th free throw coming up following a previous make. 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 30-point ball game once again. Petty, as the ball dribbles around the orange, does not make it. Recovered by Matlock, and the right-hand runner goes.
On number 21, Hayden Matlock.
Matlock 4 of 4 from the floor, and this is probably her best offensive game of the season. 8 points and a couple rebounds. Left-hand floater by Ferguson. She misses, but tracks down her board, grits her teeth, and tries to fight. Wrestling the ball away from Matlock, and then a timeout used by the Trojans. 3:38 left in the contest. 54-22 is the score. Dragons lead by 32, and we will be back in 30 seconds with your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
At Lindbergh Pharmacy, we care about your health. From a qualified and caring staff to services like our Time My Meds and MedPack programs, Lindbergh Pharmacy provides personalized service you can count on. Refill prescriptions online at lindberghpharmacy.com or on your smartphone with our free Lindbergh Pharmacy mobile app. You can also sign up for our text alert program, and we'll text or email you when your prescription is ready. Can't make it to us? We'll deliver your medications right to your door. Lindbergh Pharmacy, now 2 locations to serve you.
High school basketball on ESPN 100.7.
The Layton Town of the Dragons on full display tonight. And Avi, you and I talked about it during halftime, but we've seen glimpses of brilliance from this Dragon team, relatively young, 2 seniors in Casper and Kidd. But defensively, they were a mess coming in to the season against Lewisburg. Turnovers, probably their Achilles heel, but they've really cleaned it up tonight. They've been able to run some full-court press, and they've won the turnover battle. And talking with Coach Crotch, that's the one thing he wanted to see against the CNC opponent in the Girard Trojans tonight, win the turnover battle, and they have won dominantly. And at a demonstrative 32-point lead, 54-22 the score, running clock in effect in the third quarter, 3:30 left in the ball game as Murphy will control the sphere. Sophia Pinamani comes out to guard with her white home uniform. Murphy chucks it back to Crane, and then Hendrickson lets meet at the top as she swats Crane. Petty recovers, and then Petty's bumped into. So Crane is the guilty verdict on the foul, her second and the team's 6th. 3 minutes to go in the ball game. 54-22 remains the score. Casper asking for the basketball. She gets it in the backcourt. Skips to Sophia Pinamani. Looks for Ella Hendrickson, but she'll stop and try to reverse out. Ball tipped back by Crane as she swatted the ball, I beg your pardon, off the leg of Pinamani. It will be Trojan basketball. Make sure to stick around for the post-game report as we will go over final statistics and take a look ahead as the boys matchup is right around the corner. Rada Westcott and the Trojans losing in an overtime game to the Parsons Vikings, winning a matchup against the Parsons Vikings on Tuesday in overtime, 78-70, So with their 4th victory of the year, they look to bump up to 5-3, and for Coach Kylie Rolfs, looking for the 6th win on the year. Petty in the backcourt. Matlock picks up her dribble, will holster the ball towards her right hip, and Murphy has been on the floor all night. She's in the backcourt, and then Petty again tries to go with that sidestepping move and is pushed back. No foul, slow to get up. Under 2 to go, and Coach Crotch not going to put in any subs, and that's still a bit surprising. Give some of the JV players a chance to come in. Riley Johnson's on the floor right now with Hendrickson, Sophia Pinamani, Matlock, and Petty. Crane will hand off to Sands, who's trying to generate a little bit of room against Johnson, who's a good defender. Not as good as Casper, but still very respectable. The left-hand floater by Sands is well off kilter, and a rebound by Hendrickson, her 2nd on the night. Johnson slows down the cadence of the offense. Bounce pass, right short corner to Sophia Pinamani, who finds Ella Hendrickson, and then Hendrickson just tries to lob it up, and the floater's no good. Odell, Zoe Pinamani will sub in. Matlock, Petty sub out, and there's no buzz coming from the scores table. I don't think the officials are going to pay too much mind to it, and actually it's free throws, so I'm surprised that they would allow a substitution on the front of the 2 shots because it's double bonus now as Crane sinks the first. And it will be a substitution for the Dragons. And the Trojans will want to use a timeout to bring in some of their subs. 54-23 the score, 49 seconds remaining. Avi, You've been able to watch this game. What have you seen from the Dragons in terms of areas of improvements?
Well, for one, it's one complete basketball game, Cameron. They finally played all 4 quarters, and they won all 4 quarters, and that's why the scoreboard is showing what it is. They played great basketball. The number one problem for this team was turnovers. I don't know if you got the total right now, but they have done a phenomenal job on limiting the turnovers this game. And then the breaking the press was also the second hardest thing for these girls. They overcame that today as they haven't had one problem with the press breaker. Just a great job. And then finally, every girl is contributing, which is a great thing for Coach Kotz and company.
Pittsburg High School band now silenced after the timeout. 54-23 the score. And Leah Westcott for the Dragons now on the hardwood with Zoe Pinamani, Odell, Johnson, and Hendrickson. Crane goes 1 and 2 from the stripe, tracks down her own rebound, lobs it up with the left hand towards the near side short corner, and is able to convert as she will finish with a 3 of 7 performance from inside the horseshoe, 1 of 3 from deep in total, 4 of 10 from the floor. And a turnover by the Dragons with 30 seconds to go, 54-25 the score. Crane will sub out. That's the end of Crane's night. Smith will deliver a chest pass left wing to Valley. Valley looks for the backdoor cutting Ferguson. Hendrickson read it well. Odell comes away with the steal. And in transition, Odell slows down, right hand, finish.
How about the night for Cassidy Odell? She had a great JV game before this game, and then she had a phenomenal varsity game as well.
Valley going to work, extends the left hand, loses the basketball, chucks up a Hail Mary, and that one's no good. The Dragons with their first 30-point victory of the season, 56-25. Their next closest win was against the Joplin Eagles right before Christmas break on an odd night on Wednesday, 56-38. So that was an 18-point victory. How about a 31-point win tonight? And a spectacular showing all around from the Dragons. And an enthused Coach Krotz shakes hands with Coach Brad Herlocker. Both know about growing pains, but Coach Krotz is able to get his girls pulled together in time for the 3rd victory of the season, and still trying to float around in the SEK with the Border Classic upcoming next week. And with that, we will take a 2-minute commercial break, come right back with the final statistics, and then we'll talk about boys basketball here on your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
Does your current checking account pay you up to $15 per month? With Common Sense Checking at University Bank, you can earn up to $15 per statement cycle, 10 cents for each swipe after the first 15 swipes. Qualifying is so easy. Simply have one direct deposit or auto payment plus 15 debit card purchases each statement cycle and a $100 opening deposit. Stop by at the bank for more information about our Common Sense Checking. Then swipe and save. It's convenience that pays at University Bank. Branch GMB, member FDIC.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent Cousins with SEK Urgent Care. When you're sick, when you're injured, or when you just don't feel like yourself, SEK Urgent Care is here for you. Let our skilled providers treat your non-life-threatening illness or injury at a fraction of the time and cost of an ER visit. Located at the corner of Centennial and Broadway in the Meadowbrook Commons. Open 7 days a week for your convenience. SEK Urgent Care, where your family and time matter. Find us fast in names and numbers.
The true test of a great insurance agency comes when you suffer a loss. It's easy to take your premiums, but Ray Ryan of Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh knows that handling your claim is the most important service an insured needs.
Claim is our chance to let the customer know that we'll be out there, not just that we sold them a policy, we'll also be there when a claim occurs to make sure it gets handled in an honest, respectable way.
Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh, a trusted choice agency. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Let's go back live courtside.
And we welcome you back to the sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7. A final score in the girls' game, 56-25, as Chris Krotz and company pick up their 3rd win of the year. In an outstanding wire-to-wire fashion, let's quickly go over the quarter scoring. 18-6 after one for the Dragons. That's a 12-point advantage for those of you, much like myself, that are bad at math. 33-8 at the break. The Dragons in the second quarter started up on a 9-0 run up until the 3:45 mark before Drake Worrell into that scoring run. And much like the second quarter, to begin the third quarter, the Dragons started on an 8-0 run. So if you want to add up the beginning of the second and third quarter, the Dragons went on a 17-0 streak. After three quarters, it was 51-19. Running clock in the fourth, 56-25. Our final, the Dragons prepare themselves for the Border Classic as they will play Tulsa East Central on Wednesday. As we quickly go through the final stats, 8 points for Kanan Matlock for the Dragons, including a rebound, 10 points for Kidd, 5 rebounds. Cassidy Odell, 4 points, 4 rebounds off the bench. Sophia Penamani, 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Abby Casper, 6 points, 3 rebounds. Madden Petty, 22 points, 7 rebounds and assists. And then Ella Hendrickson, 2 points, 2 rebounds for the Trojans. Ferguson with 3 boards, 2 points for World, 2 for Murphy, including 2 boards, 13 for Crane, including 4 boards, 6 points for Valley and a rebound, and 2 points for Bailey and 2 boards. Final score once again, 56-25. The Dragons jump to 3-6 on the season. Let's talk about boys basketball now. Kylie Rolfs and the Dragons aiming for their 6th victory on the season, but they have a big roadblock in front of them. Mariah Westcott, a terrific coach for the Girard Trojan, will bring Kayla Muya and company to the hardwood. Kayla Muya this season averaging about 23 points, 11 rebounds on the year. A lanky 6'3 guard, but it's not as if the Dragons haven't met a lanky guard. Last week they took on the Grizzlies, won by 15, 57-42, and took on Javon Relaford here in the SEK, another 6'2", 6'3 guard with a lot of explosiveness. So the Dragons ready for this matchup. How will they execute? And for the Trojans, who will step out outside of Muya? Those will be the questions answered by head coach Kylie Rolfs and Rod Westcott for the Trojans. Here in 60 seconds, we will have both coaches' interviews coming to you here on your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
Does your current checking account pay you up to $15 per month? With Common Sense Checking at University Bank, you can earn up to $15 per statement cycle, 10 cents for each swipe after the first 15 swipes. Qualifying is so easy. Simply have one direct deposit or auto payment plus 15 debit card purchases each statement cycle and a $100 opening deposit. Stop by the bank for more information about our Common Sense Checking. Then swipe and save. It's convenience that pays at University Bank. Branch GMB. Member FDIC.
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you become part of something more.
We're a family of crimson and gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference.
Everybody wants to stand out.
Without standing apart.
You belong.
At Pittsburg State University.
Stream this online at ESPN1007.com.
Hello, and we welcome you back to your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7. Cameron Molina, joined by Pittsburg High School's boys basketball coach Kylie Rolfs. Coach, last time out, traveled to Altamont, Kansas, took on a very talented Labette County team that at one point led the SEK, but now you tie it up with a victory against the Grizzlies. It was a tough matchup, but can you walk me through the process of going into that second half and closing out the game?
Well, I mean, it was, not a whole lot of things changed in the second half compared to what we went in the game initially trying to do. We just, we knew how we had to kind of take care of their big three, if you will. What I mean by take care of is try to slow them down a little bit and make them have to really earn things, and because they were critical to Labette's success, without a doubt. And Easton Dean picked up a couple fouls there early, and so he didn't play a whole lot the first half. And then, I thought we did a good job on Russell really throughout the whole game. And Magic, I felt like, he's a really good player, and he's still going to score his points, but I felt like we made him take, a lot of shots to get his points. And that, going into the game, that probably was a recipe we would have settled for and dialed up, and our kids did a nice job of kind of making that happen.
Well, Coach, you touch on Dean and his foul trouble. Compared to your guys', they seem to be very disciplined and not foul, and when talking with Coach Brad Smith of the Labette County Grizzlies, he said we want to make sure that English and Curtis get in foul trouble so we can win off the glass. Can you touch on your guys being cognizant of that and not fouling?
I appreciate the comment. I mean, the compliment, that's for sure. It's game to game. We've had some games where we have had some foul trouble, so on and so forth. But we trust our guys without a doubt. They understand the importance of staying out of foul trouble, but at the same time playing aggressively. And we were fortunate enough the other night to stay out of foul trouble, and I think our guys do a good job of putting themselves in the right position and moving their feet to stay out of foul trouble. Now that was, that's a single night, and hopefully we can continue that because having those guys on the floor for a majority of minutes definitely is important to our team.
Coach Gavin Elkamil, he has been a terrific player for you guys so far this season. He illustrated that during the Grizzlies matchup as well, but it seemed there was one part where he hit a cold stretch and went to the bench, but Javon Grant, some of the other bench players, really picked them up, including some of your assistant coaches. Can you touch on the cohesion of your basketball team and how even the bench players are able to pick up one of the varsity stars?
Well, I think that's what it's all about. I heard somebody say, a couple weeks ago, the talk was about, basketball and playing as a team, and somebody said, well, isn't that why it's called a team sport? And so I'm not trying to be facetious at all, but I mean, that's really the simplistic thing about it is basketball is a team sport, and you expect teammates to step up, you expect teammates to have each other's back, and when somebody's struggling or something doesn't go well, you expect somebody else to step up. I mean, that is the way it's supposed to be, and that's something that we hope and has been a part of our culture, and we hope that it continues to be a part of our culture.
Currently talking with Pittsburg High School boys basketball coach Kylie Rolls. Coach, within your offense, you tell your guys when there's an open look from behind the arc, you end up taking it. If it is a good shot, I might add. But last night, or rather on Tuesday, you guys went 2 for 10, just a cold night. But you talk about the shooter mentality with some of your guys. Drew Rolls, even though he misses 1 or 2, he still feels confident enough to take those open looks. Same with Gavin Elkamil.
Yeah, and those guys are guys that can shoot the ball, and we need, we trust, again, I go back to the word trust. We trust our guys that can shoot the ball to shoot the ball, even if they missed a bunch of shots in a row. We know that all that means is they're usually going to make quite a few in a row coming up probably. And that's playing basketball. That's why you practice in the off season. That's why you improve your skills so that you can, trust those skills and go out and play. And those guys are confident players, and they'll continue to be that way. And you just really don't sweat it a whole lot as a coach as long as good shots are being taken.
Coach, to close out the third quarter, your guys went on a 9-2 run. At this stage in their basketball careers, especially for a lot of your upperclassmen who basically comprise your entirety of your starting lineup, do they know really when to turn it on? I know you want to play from start to finish, wire to wire, but do they have that sense, do you feel now, that this is the time that we need to take this game over? We are up double digits. Let's put our foot on the gas pedal or put our foot on the neck of the opponent and finish it out?
Well, I mean, finishing, I think, is the first part of your question, I would answer, I hope not, because, our approach needs to be the same, and I totally get your question, but, our approach needs to be the same, no matter what part of the game. But I do, the part you mentioned there at the end about finishing and making sure that you put somebody away when you have an opportunity, I think our guys do have a pretty good sense of that. But, again, it's, I think big picture-wise we get it, but, it wasn't that long ago we went to Parsons and got a 20-point lead and ended up getting beat. So you hope that's part of the learning process, and we've learned from that experience. But you always have the realization that we're dealing with high school kids, and a lot of things can happen as they can with anybody. But at that age, you just really got to keep talking about the same things over and over again, and hope we learn and improve. And this has been a group that has done that.
Coach, you will now go outside the conference and play Girard on Friday. Can you touch on what their team is like, and is there any difference between playing a CNC school and an SEK school outside of familiarity?
Well, I don't think there's a whole lot of difference. No, we treat it as another game. I mean, whether it's SEK or not, it's our next game, and we know all of our games are important. You're always talking and thinking in regards to sub-state standings and everything else, and you're just talking about competition. The willingness and the want to go win. And so, our approach really doesn't change because it's not an SEK opponent. We're still very familiar. We've played them for years, and they play other SEK opponents. So, mindset really doesn't change much at all.
Once again, that was the Pittsburg High School boys basketball coach, Kylie Rolls. We'll be back with Girard Trojan head boys basketball coach, Rod Westcott, right after this. You're listening to your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
Customer first. Safety all.
Headquartered in Richmond, Kansas, QSI Quality Structures Incorporated specializes in designing and building complete post-frame buildings. We provide structures built to withstand a 30-pound ground snow load and a 90-mile-per-hour wind shear built to the most stringent codes. Whether you need a garage, agricultural building, commercial facility, or custom-built design, we're your one-stop shop for post-frame buildings. QSI. Everything we do is right on cue.
Heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
High school basketball on ESPN 100.7.
Hello, and we welcome you back to your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7. Cam Molina joined by Girard Trojan head boys basketball coach Rod Westcott. Coach, you were able to catch a glimpse of the SEK, which will be one of the teams. And, Coach, you were able to catch a glimpse of the SEK on Tuesday as you challenged the Parsons Vikings. It was an 8-point victory, 78-70. Can you just walk me through that matchup and tell me what you thought your team did well?
Yeah, a good, hard-fought game for us Tuesday night. Both teams really left it all out on the floor. Just didn't have much left about the end of the game. Overtime game, it was up and down. And you can't say enough about both teams. They both played extremely hard, and we were able to hang on. We made a few more plays down the stretch, and good win for the boys.
Well, Coach, you have a relatively veteran team. You have Caleb Muya, now a junior, and a couple seniors, and Goff and some other guys. But beyond that, a lot of these guys had played second fiddle to Lake Damon and Drew David about 2-3 years ago. Can you touch on their development and how they've really stuck to their roles over the last year and a half?
Yeah, first year really for the majority of our team to see a lot of varsity time, and guys have really stepped up. Early on it was tough getting going. We didn't have that experience at that varsity level, but they've got some under the belt now, and hopefully we can grow from that. I thought we did some good things Tuesday, and we're really starting to put some things together. But that being said, we'll probably have to play one of the best games of the year this tomorrow night, this Friday, just because of who we're going up against. With what Pitt has coming back and experience and the talent they have, be a tall test for us.
Coach, and I mentioned Caleb Muya. He's been gaining a lot of attention in the Southeast Kansas area, including in the CNC League. So far, averaging 24 points, 11 rebounds. How have you been able to attribute to his maturation? What have you seen from him on the court this year?
Well, he does a lot of good things for us, obviously, and everybody kind of keys on him, and everybody wants to try to shut him down. And, we talked earlier, that's really helped us out because it's opened some things up for our other guys. And we've had somebody different has stepped up other than Caleb every night. And, right there before Christmas, we had 4 guys in double figures and really sharing the ball well. The guys understand where the ball needs to be. And that's just going to pay dividends for us down the stretch. If we can keep having other guys step up, it's going to start freeing Caleb up some more because they can't focus on him as much. But, he's definitely got a lot of attention from some other teams. I'm sure that'll continue.
Cam Molina currently talking with Rod Westcott, head boys basketball coach of the Girard Trojans. Well, Coach, I mentioned it and barely touched on it, but 2 years ago you had back-to-back state playoff appearances. You had Lake Damon and Drew David, probably 2 of the best CNC players over the last 4 or 5 years. But then you have this transformation period, this transition period where you are starting to start some new guys like Muya, Goff, a senior. Can you touch on personally and for your assistant coaches the difficulties of having that transition period of having a pretty solid senior class to just having guys who only have a year or 2 experience at that high JV and varsity level?
Yeah, a small school, you're going to get that. You got guys that they have to pay their dues and go through the freshman system and JV system, and they do a good job of learning what we in those situations, and hopefully they can carry that right into to the varsity level. And these guys have done that. They've stepped up, and we've got Caleb and Evan and Ethan. They played a lot last year, started for us most of the year. So those three guys have a lot of experience. Brett, he's a guy, and Carter. They've went through the trenches and done some good things and really fought hard for us. But they're continuing to get better, and hopefully that'll continue for us as a team as well.
Coach, Pittsburg High School has only lost 2 games so far this season. They were projected to win the SEK, a very talented team. Many teams like to hone in on their front court with the tandem of Chase Curtis and Marquis English. Do you see a particular way of slowing those two down?
Well, nobody's figured out how to do it yet. Yeah, very talented group, and it's one of those things, if you focus on Chase and Marquis too much, then, their guards, it frees them up, and they got so many guys that can stand out there and shoot the three and hurt you in different ways. And, of course, Gavin can get to the rim, and Colley's boy, Drew, he can stand out there and knock the lights out of it. And, we thought we really had a great plan last year going in. We're going to help off the Butcher kid, and lo and behold, he comes out and hits 3 trays against us last year. So, got tons of weapons, lots of different ways they can score. We're just going to have to be sound and be real solid with whatever we do defensively, and make sure that we only give them 1 attempt. I think that'll be big for us tomorrow night, as if we can keep them off the glass and not let them kill us on the boards, because they're so long and they do a good job of seeking the ball out. It'll be a tough road to hoe.
Once again, that was the Girard Trojan head boys basketball coach, Rod Westcott, here on your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7. We are back with starting rotations and some insight ahead of tonight's matchup. You're listening to the home of Purple Dragon Athletics on ESPN 100.7, your sports headquarters.
Advanced technology, comprehensive quality care. That's Canar Eye Care. We have the newest technology, but we never lose sight of what's most important, our patients. Eye care has changed dramatically in recent years, and we've been there for you every step of the way. At Canar Eye Care, patients spend time with doctors. Total eye care, from contact lenses, including bifocal contacts, treatment of disease, and surgical co-management. Canar Eye Care, the clear choice.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Are you tired of all those confusing checking account options? The Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union makes your choice simple. We only have one option. Our checking account has no monthly fees, and if you maintain a $2,000 minimum balance, we pay you interest. Get the Credit Union Advantage at 416 North Broadway, or call 620-231-5719 for more information. Deposits are federally insured by NCUA up to $250,000.
Let's go back live courtside.
We are nearing tip-off inside Pittsburg High School's gymnasium. The Trojans and the Dragons. A CNC SEK clash will soon begin, but before that we have the national anthem. We will step aside for 2 minutes and come back with your starting rotations here on your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent Cousins with SEK Urgent Care. When you're sick, when you're injured, or when you just don't feel like yourself, SEK Urgent Care is here for you. Let our skilled providers treat your non-life-threatening illness or injury at a fraction of the time and cost of an ER visit. Located at the corner of Centennial and Broadway in the Meadowbrook Commons. Open 7 days a week for your convenience. SEK Urgent Care, where your family and time matter. Find us fast on names and numbers.
When you get engaged and need to pay for the wedding, when you have a baby and need to start that college savings account, it seems like the best moments in life can come with some real financial challenges. What's yours? At Commerce Bank, we find solutions so you can focus on enjoying life. Visit us online at commercebank.com or at a branch near you. Commerce Bank, challenge accepted. Member FDIC.
What does it take to have a truly positive reputation? At Vogel Heating and Cooling, we know reputation is earned by consistent performance, by serving our customers' best interest, by providing top quality, energy efficient ream equipment and service for Southeast Kansas homeowners. Vogel Heating and Cooling is a Ream Factory authorized dealer and has been serving the area for over 20 years. Turn to the experts. Turn to Vogel Heating and Cooling.
Bittner Motors is proud to announce that it is now Pittsburgh's new dealer for the Hustler line of zero-turn lawnmowers. Hustler has manufactured its trademark yellow mower for over 50 years, with each mower being built right here in the U.S. Hustler combines the innovative American spirit with a do-it-right work ethic to produce the best line of zero-turn mowers on the market. Call Mike Bittner at 620-232-1530 or stop by today at 1018 North Broadway in Pittsburgh to check out the Hustler line of zero-turn mowers. Hustler Mowers, made in America at Bittner Motors, Pittsburgh.
High school basketball on ESPN 100.7.
A brilliant rendition of the national anthem from the Pittsburgh High School Encore unit as we begin this match between the Trojans and the Dragons, who seek to earn their 6th victory of the year against Rod Westcott's Girard team. And we'll go through the Girard lineup as they are the visiting club. Ethan Goff, Caleb Mouya, who's averaging 22, 23 points per game, including about 11 rebounds. Brett Ferguson, in addition, Ryder Worrell, and Evan Troike. As for the Pittsburgh High School Purple Dragons on this Friday night, it will be Chase Curtis, Drew Rolfs, the senior, Gavin Elkamil, Marquis English, and Jarek Butcher. And Avi, what I mean everybody in here is elbows to elbows. I mean everybody is elbow to elbows. The student section for the Dragons jam-packed on what is a blackout night. Behind us is the Girard Trojans away visiting section. And my goodness, everybody is cheeks to cheeks. We have a jam-packed house for what is a matchup that's only about a 20-minute drive. So a lot of these players know one another from Summer League. Coach Rolfs mentioned that there's not going to be too many tricks in this ballgame. It will be straightforward, clean basketball. It's going to be all about execution tonight. Who will execute best?
It's a great question, Cameron. I think this is going to be a great matchup. The girls prevailed in the first game for Pittsburgh, and this one it's going to be a very nice, intense matchup. If PHS sticks to the way that they play, led by Coach Rolfs, I think these guys have got nothing but talent ahead. Their bench is good too. These guys just look really good. We haven't seen Girard play this year, but holy cow, they have size, something that PHS has as well. So it should be an interesting matchup to see who's going to win the down low. And we've said it almost every single game. How do you contain the two-headed monster of Chase Curtis and Marquis English?
Well, we'll see if the Trojans have the formula tonight. The Trojans in their visiting maroon and yellow uniform with yellow numerals in lettering. Along the thighs of the shorts, there is a yellow bar, also with the Trojans lettering inside. And for the Dragons, their opal home uniforms with purple numerals in lettering, and much like the Trojans, a yellow stripe running from the underarm of the tops of the uniforms to the bottom of the shorts, and with the P logo on the thighs. Marquis English wins off the tip against Mouya to Jarek Butcher as the Trojan offense go from right to left on your dial. Butcher's able to deliver a fastball right corner to Rolfs, who finds a cutting Marquis English right block, misses his first shot, and then a recover rebound by Troike. Troike skip pass, finds Ferguson, who goes with a power dribble. Beautiful fake on the up and under, but Curtis is there for the dial. Mouya tracks down the offensive rebound. He's unable to convert. Mouya misses his opportunity, and then Curtis clears it out. So already a lot of back and forth between these two teams in only one possession each. Rolf with the pass fake towards the right short corner near side of the court. Butcher orchestrating traffic as he has English at the high post. Curtis left block, kicks it back out. English three-pointer dialed up. Someone answers, and it's the hoop. So English starts off the game with a three-pointer as Troike dribbles with his right hand into the front court. Scans to his left side, no one there. A curling Worrell asking for the basketball. He's far side wing before he finds Mouya left corner. Mouya scanning. He'll take it under his own accord, wheels inside the lane, then a three-point jump shot from Worrell doesn't go. Curtis with his second board of the night. Following the rebound, it's Gavin Elkamil dribbling with his non-dominant left hand. He's able to wrap around and pass the Rolfs off a one-hopper to the right wing. Back to Elkamil, left wing defended by Mouya, a lanky defender. Elkamil has about 2 inches on him, maybe an inch. Elkamil's about 6'4", 6'5", Mouya 6'3", and very wiry. English, left block, spins past Ferguson and scores with the inside left hand. A nice move by English, and he's so savvy in the post. Worrell has it in the backcourt as he nears the timeline. He has not crossed it yet. Now he does, crossing over from left to right. The sophomore will pick up his dribble right wing before he finds Mouya, who wiggles away from Gavin Elkamil, who tracks him back down. As he marks his opponent, he stretches out his right hand to defend. Ferguson has the ball cocked above his head, sells 2 pass fakes, then a bounce pass. Troike, right hand inside, misses the point-blank range shot. After he misses, he grabs his own rebound. English with a denial, tracked down by Ferguson. So rebounds about for this Trojan team, just unable to capitalize. And the Trojan as well as Dragons fan section screaming at one another. Muya, right elbow, finds Whirl, 3, no. Muya, another rebound, his second offensive board of the night, and then he's able to score. Wow, a lot of rebounds early from an undersized Trojan team showing their grit as Rolls will stop free throw line, picks up his dribble, rips a pass above his head to English, who takes a hop step inside the key, goes inside right hand, ice cream shoot, Scott goes. Muya across the timeline, 7-2 the score. Dragons up 5 at home. Worrell with a chest pass to Goff, left wing. Troike, left corner, cocks the ball above his head, finds Ferguson, left elbow, stops, thought about popping, relocates the ball to Worrell off a one-hopper, back to Goff at the point, high ball screen set by Ferguson, pass fake by Goff. Right wing is Muya. Muya scans, huddled outside the perimeter, then he spins away from Elkamel, double clutches, right hand finish. Muya contorts his body for a tough make. 4 points, 2 rebounds thus far for Muya. Butcher, left wing, finds Curtis. His club up 3 points, 7-4. And this was a matchup last year that was very close. The Dragons squeaking out a victory against the Trojans on the road. Jarek Butcher hit 3 3-pointers in that ball game. Butcher at the point, redirects a pass left wing. Elkamil scans as the posts are moving in a very synchronized manner. Right wing, Rolfs, a dagger. And that one went straight through the bottom of the nylon. Midway through the first quarter of play, it is 10-4. Troike is able to weave in between Curtis and Rolls. Left corner whirl, bounce pass, Goff sets his feet, answers back with a trifecta of his own. Ethan Goff and company not backing down from their SEK counterpart. Right corner, Elkamil jab steps baseline, back to Butcher. Elkamil will find English, right block, who fakes towards the inside. Goes inside the key, loses the ball as he passed to Rolfs, back to English. English loses the basketball and subsequently is fouled on his way to the basket. 10-7 is the score. Dragons up 3. 3:30 left in the first quarter of play, and English to the free throw line. He will put his right foot in front of his left foot a bit angled to the left side. His first free throw goes. Marquis English against Labette County had a game high 24 points and 12 rebounds. Before that against Fort Scott, 26 points and 6 rebounds. English, after knocking down his first, will set his feet. His second opportunity on its way, no good though. Muya already 3 rebounds in the ballgame. Double team to the backcourt. English comes up to greet him and harass him. He has Troike in the front court, stepping on the outside of the arch. Worrell will find Goff at the point. Bounce pass to Muya, right corner. Troike, right wing, scans, and as he prospects, he'll deliver a waist pass to Goff. Over to the left wing, right back to Troike, and a screaming Dragon fan section on this blackout night. Carter Doherty in the ball game, the 6'4" football player, and that will be a load to handle for English and Curtis on the inside. Muya scans, Butcher reads, steals. Butcher goes up, right hand lay-in goes. And the George Gervin fingertip lay-in goes through. Troike in transition, trying to maneuver. He navigates all the way to the basket, and Coach Rolfs not pleased. He never really shouts, but he has that look on his face of disapproval. Rolfs quick trigger 3, Muya 4 boards already. In transition, it's Muya, no look past the Worrell, right short corner, delivers a slow roller to the top of the key where Rolfs is at, where Goff is at. Over to Troike, left wing, back to Doherty, who will set a screen, left elbow. Elkamil against Troike, left wing is Worrell, defended by Butcher. And the harassing Butcher will force Worrell back out with 2:15 to go. Coach Westcott, a very animated coach as he's shouting at his boys. Troike, ball poked out of his hand by Elkamil, his club trailing by 4. 2 minutes to go in the first. Doherty outside the horseshoe will deliver a beeline pass, left short corner. Goff works baseline, double clutches. Elkamil sends it back, but Goff recovers and scores. Ethan Goff among the trees. What a sequence for the Trojans, who are only down 2, but Curtis with a quick response. One quick power dribble and a score. 15-11. Dragons up 4 at home, but a stingy Trojan bunch not backing down. 1:30 left in the first. Muya using his long arms to navigate inside. The right-hand runner falls. Caleb Muya with arms that go on forever. English, right block, double team by Troike. Finds Rolfs, and he gives it right back to English, who swims inside. Doherty, who had his hands straight up, is called for the foul as English snuck through. And I think, if anything, Doherty had a little chest bump in there, but not much. And Doherty's a big boy. He's an offensive lineman and offensive lineman for the football team, and for him to try to keep pace with English tonight is going to be a challenge. English 1 and 2 from the stripe thus far. Now 1 of 3. He'll have his 4th attempt coming up here in a moment, as it will be Ferguson subbing in for Goff and Javon Grant for the Dragons coming in for Butcher, as will Trenton Austin. As Curtis goes to the bench to catch a breather, 1:18 left in the first, a 2-point ball game. English can extend it to 3 right here with the free throw. He does just that, 2 of 4 from the stripe, and a game-leading 9 points. Troike will change the cadence and go up in a conservative manner before the half-court trap. Greets Troike. He will find Worrell, who finds Ferguson, and Ferguson is fouled in the far side corner by Austin. Austin had 2 fouls last game against the Grizzlies. And Avi, personally, I believe it's imperative tonight that the bench players stay out of foul trouble, because the way the tempo is so far, these starters are going to need a breather for the Dragons.
Yeah, I agree, Cameron. They're running a slow half-court tempo, both teams are doing.
Muya works it around the horn, right back to himself in the right corner. He goes up and a foul by English, and that's exactly what Coach Rod Westcott wants, to find those mismatches against Curtis and English and have those two be in foul trouble early. And it's just an added bonus if Austin, the 6'5" forward, is also out, so there's no height inside, and it will be an easy going for this Trojan team, but that's easier said than done, as Muya's free throw clings off the lip of the iron, smooches the window and goes through. 16-14 is the score. Troike will sub out. Goff goes in, so we've only seen about a 7-man rotation thus far for the Trojans, about 2 deep. Muya goes 2 of 2. That one a bit more smooth on its flight path. Muya 8 points, 4 rebounds. His club down 1. 52 seconds left in the first. Elkamil patrols inside, jabs inside the horseshoe, backs it back outside the circle. The ball's rotated to Rolfs at the point. He pass fakes, and the deep pass left side. No one falls for the feint. Elkamil receives the ball right corner. Rolfs works it around. Javon Grant finds an open English, who skips it. Gavin Elkamil right corner 3 long. Muya lost the board, but then he's able to recover as Austin was there on the attack. The pursuit results in 5 rebounds for Muya. Grant double teams Muya with English. Muya steps through in a 10-second call. Great defense by the Dragons. No one came to help Caleb Muya in the backcourt.
How about that defensive stand by Marquis English and the freshman in Grant stepping up right there?
I'm a bit more puzzled as to why there was no one to help Muya. He dribbled into a double team as English, again, a very versatile defender, as he has that 6'6", 6'7" height and has great speed. Grant kicks it out left wing to Rolfs, who forks it to English left corner, back to Grant at the point. 8 seconds to go, 1-point lead for the Dragons in the first. Elkamil 3, short. Austin tracks down the board, loses it, recovered by Ferguson, stolen away. Goff bounce pass, and that's the end of the first quarter of play. Back and forth we went. The Dragons had an early edge, but the Trojans not going quietly into the night as it reaches the top of the 8 o'clock hour. It's a 1-point lead for the Dragons at home, 16-15, and we are back in 30 ticks with your home of Purple Dragon Athletics on ESPN 100.7.
Customer first, safety always. It's not just a tagline, it's the Watco way. By focusing on safety, each and every day they build a future by protecting their customers, team members, community, and the environment. When Watco moves commodities by rail, river, and road, at home or across North America and Australia, their priority is to ensure that they deliver their loads safely and on time. Watco wishes all area teams a safe and successful season.
Stream this online at ESPN1007.com.
And you heard the Bob Bugan stream this game live from your sports headquarters on ESPN100.7.com as the Dragons and Trojans nearly a stalemate heading into the top of the second. 16-15, Dragons up 1. And Marquis English pacing the Dragons with 9. Kayla Muya, 8 points. It has more rebounds than English, who's 6'6". Muya, a 6'3" guard, has 5 boards. He's averaging 11 per game, and I spoke with Coach Westcott about the willingness of the guards to crash the boards. He says, I'm extremely proud of my guys because they are doing that. We don't have a lot of height inside, so it makes it a lot easier when Choiki, Goff, and Muya are willing to go inside and fight amongst the taller players as Choiki gets it in the backcourt as we begin the second quarter of play. Choiki dribbles with his non-dominant left hand, now crosses over to his right, has Butcher on his hip, kicks it out to Goff, left corner. From the far side corner, Goff will patrol, wheels over to the right wing, then delivers a chest pass to Goff, who whips it over left corner. Muya scans. Ferguson will send a ball screen, left elbow. And this is an extremely disciplined Girard team that rarely turns the ball over. As the ball is poked loose by Curtis, he read the flight path and trajectory of the pass from Choiki to Muya. Good read by Curtis. His club up 1 with 7:30 left in the half. Muya with the ball cocked above his head. The Dragon section on their blackout night, screaming behind him, inbounds to the Goff, who delivers a chest pass left wing to Choiki, who's double teamed by both Grant and Curtis. An open Carter Doherty and a great feed from Choiki so Doherty can score. Unselfish play by the Trojans, who have now gained the lead 17-16 early on in the second quarter of play. Grant finds Butcher top of the key. He rotates it to English, who takes a left wing 3. Muya comes out to contest. English 1 of 2 from downtown thus far. Rebound by Choiki. He wastes no time getting down to the opposite end. He pushes the envelope, but thinks better of it. A concerned manner. Goff, Ferguson, Choiki 3. Bounces off the left side of the rim, goes over to the backboard. 1 point lead for the Trojans on the road. Their first lead of the ball game. Butcher in the backcourt, about a quarter of the way from the full court. Now he's at half court, standing on the scaly purple Dragon logo. Fire emitting from the Dragon's nose that's artistically painted at midcourt as Butcher will unsheathe the right corner 3. He misses. Butcher's first 3 of the night is a no-go. Muya now has 6 rebounds on the night. He's already nearing a double-double, and we're not even midway through the second quarter. Doherty gets the basketball following a mishandle by Goff. An easy step through and score for Carter Doherty. 2 minutes into the second quarter, and the Dragons down 3. English left circle, steps back out. Goff, good defense. Butcher lobs it. Curtis, right block, double team. Choiki comes away with the steal. He scans. The Nike brand wearing Choiki is at the right elbow, steps through, tries to whip it past to Doherty. An ill-advised play as he went into traffic. Stolen by Curtis as he looks, his hair waving with the air pushing against his forehead. English dribbles with his right hand and works it over to Butcher, who rotates it to Grant. Looks for a cutting Curtis, who goes with an up fake, right short corner and misses. That was a bad shot by Curtis. He was well away from the basket. Goff goes up. Good defense. Austin swats it. Muya on the backside for the putback. Kayla Muya, 10.7 rebounds. He's been extremely active tonight, and he needs to be against a team that is 2 classifications higher than his Trojan team. Choiki tied up with English. English ripped through and hit Choiki in the jaw. And I think it's a foul on English instead of a jump ball. Regardless, a timeout used by Coach Rolfs. 21-16 is the score. Dragons at home trailing by 5. And the Trojans not backing down from this big challenge following an overtime win on Tuesday. We are back in 30 seconds with your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
At Lindbergh Pharmacy, we care about your health. From a qualified and caring staff to services like our Time My Meds and MedPack programs, Lindbergh Pharmacy provides personalized service you can count on. Refill prescriptions online at lindberghpharmacy.com or on your smartphone with our free Lindbergh Pharmacy mobile app. You can also sign up for our text alert program, and we'll text or email you when your prescription is ready. Can't make it to us? We'll deliver your medications right to your door. Lindbergh Pharmacy, now 2 locations to serve you.
Stream this online at ESPN1007.com.
Avi Sharma, Shelby White back at our KSHQ HQ studio doing a phenomenal job board hopping. Cam Molina with you for this Friday night matchup. Just about 20 minutes away are the Trojans and the Dragons in terms of relative distance. It's only about 16 miles as a foul is called on the Trojans, who lead by 5 on the road, 21-16. Curtis will go to the free throw line. That is 2 on Troike. That's a big foul against Troike, who is a great facilitator for this Trojan bunch. Curtis knocks down his first free throw. He struggled mightily with his free throws early on in the year, and we are talking double-digit misses from the charity stripe, but he's done a great job working on that over Christmas break. He goes 1 of 2 there. He has 3 points, 2 rebounds. His club down 4 as the Trojans started the second quarter on a 6-0 run that has been broken by the Curtis free throw. Under 5 to go in the half. 21-17, Trojans lead on the road. Goff trapped in the far corner by Rolfs, and he's able to whip it over right wing to Wool, but a timeout used by Coach Westcott. His club leading by 4 points. And Avi, how surprised are you that the Trojans have a 4-point lead early on?
Well, it seems that the inside game for PHS is struggling, Cameron, but you can't say the same for Girard, as they are making every basket inside and they're making it count. 3-point shooting, I'd say both teams are about neck and neck, but it's who wants it more on the inside. And right now, you got Curtis, you got English, and Austin. They're having a hard time against these guys because it's an immediate double team every time they get the basketball down low, and they try to force that pass, and it gets turned over.
So far, the Trojans have only missed 2 shots on the night. They are 9 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 1 from deep, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, and are winning the rebound battle by my count, 11-2. That is outstanding against a team that has a pair of 6'5", 6'6" players in the post in English and Curtis. Curtis nearly averaging double-digit rebounds per contest. It's a near side sideline inbound in front of the scores table for Girard. Troike has it left wing, finds Goff right wing now. Goff thought about ripping from right to left. Instead, he'll attack right short corner, lowers his shoulder. He'll go with a bounce pass to Worrell, who has an open Troike left wing, and he swishes it. So Troike now with 5 points in the game. And the Trojans 2 of 2 from deep. 7-point lead for Girard. Butcher works it around the horn. Rolfs up fake. He finds Curtis cutting from the left elbow to the left block. Double team by Muya and Ferguson. Left wing. Rolfs' 3 swirls out. Rebounded by Muya. Following the vice grip-like rebound by Muya, he comes into the front court, dribbling with his right hand. Scans, he's looking for a cutting roll, but instead thinks better of it. Pass fake as he picks up the dribble, defended by Curtis. Looks for a cutting Troike, who has a wide open lane to the basket and finishes with the right hand finger roll. And the Dragons are all out of sorts at home, trailing by 9 points. An uncharacteristic start as Jarek Butcher yells at Rolfs to the right wing, and they're trying to run the offense. English back out to Rolfs, who scans, finds Butcher, who whips it left wing. Elkman will attack left short corner. The ball is deflected by Ferguson and Muya. After the rebound by Ferguson, Muya goes in transition, goes up right-handed, blocked by Curtis. Good read by Curtis to time the block. Great anticipation. Butcher puts the brakes on as he whips a pass right wing to Rolfs. Has English, who steps through, draws a foul. No and one, though. And that is a foul on Ferguson. Ferguson with 2 boards and a foul now. That's the 14th foul committed by the Trojans. And English and company have some ground to make up. Down 9. English's free throw is good. A silky smooth shot. English will bring his white Nike shoes to the free throw line, right foot in front of his left, spin the ball, waist level, bring the ball to his forehead, flick, and score. He's 4 of 6 from the line, 11 points in this ball game. No rebounds, though, as the Dragons are being out-rebounded again. To my count, I could be wrong, 13-2. That is extremely, extremely favorable for the Trojans, who have had close to half a dozen second chance opportunities, and the official talking with Jeff Staley, AD for the Dragons, telling him that the student section needs to get back a little bit. But I didn't see anybody on the floor, and now there's a student who has been, I don't know, he may have been kicked out. And now, actually, I think something was spilt on the floor. Yep. Yeah, I think a drink was spilled on the floor by said student who vacated the premises, and now there's an official timeout on the floor. 3:04 left in the half, 26-19 to score. The Dragons down 7. They're having a team meeting on the far side of the court, right wing. I think this is a good time for the Dragons to really have a come-to-Jesus meeting, if you will, and say, hey, this is not how we typically play. We need to figure out what the issue is, and right now it is great defense played by the Trojans, but we need to work the ball around more. We can't settle for those three-point jump shots as we are 2 of 5 thus far. Let's work it back inside and draw some fouls against Muya, Ferguson, and Doherty. 3 to go in the half. 26-19, Trojans lead on the road. Muya delivers a liner over to Worrell, left wing, defended by Butcher. Worrell looks, ball at his waist, so find Troike left corner. Good defense by Elkamil. Troike works around, he hooked, and I think it's going to be a foul on Elkamil. Wow, that is a surprising call because Elkamil was the victim of a hook by Troike as he brought that left arm around to try to whip past Troike, or excuse me, to whip past Elkamil the best way he knew how. 2:45 left in the half. Troike has it, waist level, rips through from right to left, defended by Rolf. Hops, kicks it out, Worrell, left corner 3, and drills it. The net popped up to wave at Worrell after he nailed it without hesitation from the left corner. First double-digit lead by the Trojans, 29-19. Up fake by Rolf. Works it to Butcher, left wing, Elkamil to answer back. Good. Good answer by Elkamil. Worrell has it, left corner again, high ball screen set by Ferguson as Worrell looks for Goffs. Worrell is not worried too much though, as a high ball screen set by Muya. Worrell will not work with it though. He looks backdoor to Ferguson. Good defense by Butcher to get a hand up. He was the only thing stopping a fastball from Worrell to a cutting, curling Ferguson. Worrell right wing after a pass from Troike. He will spin away and curl towards the right short corner. Has Ferguson who goes with an up and under, steps inside, misses. English pokes it up. Elkamil with the rebound. A change for the Dragons to Perry. Down 7 points, Elkamil takes advantage and scores with the inside left hand. Elkamil, at one point in the Grizzlies game, was benched because he just really wasn't working out in the offense and he was struggling. A 5-point ball game now and a 5-0 swing for the Dragons following the Elkamil 3 and lay-in. Muya, free throw line, goes up left-handed, contested by English, but it's not enough. Kayla Muya getting his moolah today. Right wing, Elkamil, jab steps, baseline, looks low. English has him right block. Back out to Elkamil, right corner, who he had to go with the heat check. He misses. Rebound by Muya for his 9th board of the night. Muya in transition finds Worrell. Pull up 2. Right short corner goes. And Worrell with a beautiful pull up. No hesitation. 33-24 the score. Rolf's left wing works it back to Butcher in what has been a quarter dominated by the Trojans with 45 seconds left. It's a foul on the floor, and if it's on Troike, it's his 3rd. It is on Troike, his 3rd, and Coach Westcott animated afterwards, really apoplectic as he didn't mutter under his breath, he screamed. Inbound by Butcher. He has Curtis who bullies his way inside and scored. Followed the near side baseline inbound. Muya will find Worrell in the backcourt. Right back to Muya. 33-26 the score. 17 points scored this quarter by the Trojans compared to 10 from the Dragons. 7-point ball game. Muya dribbles with his right hand and maybe a last second shot for the Trojans. Muya works it around to Doherty and a foul on the floor on Curtis, his 1st and the team's 5th. Correction, team's 4th foul. It will be a near side out for Goff. Slaps the ball with his left hand. He has Worrell in the backcourt. Into the front court he comes. Muya fades away from Curtis, and Worrell needs to dribble. It's going to be a 5-second count. 11 seconds left, 10 seconds left. Worrell trying to go to work. Butcher, good defense. The middle linebacker forcing Worrell out. 5 seconds left. Goff with it. Works it. Worrell, right corner, needs to get it up. High arcing shot. Nowhere near, but Doherty tracks it down. He missed the tip in. Oh my goodness, Doherty had a beautiful look at what would have been the most awkward assist in basketball history as Worrell faded away from the basket in a Steph Curry-like fashion, way short of the basket. And then Doherty, all 6'4", 210 pounds plus of the behemoth, tried to tip it in, but he barely gets off the ground. It was more like his tippy toes were still touching the ground, and he just kind of went up on his calves and tried to put it back in. But either way, at halftime, it is 33-26, an exhilarating matchup between the Trojans and the Dragons. Girard and Coach Rod Westcott lead by 7 at the break, trumping the athleticism of the hometown Dragons. We are back in 2 minutes with Girard Trojan, or rather with the Pittsburg High School girls basketball coach and Chris Krotz, followed by a look at the statistics. We are back in 2 minutes with your home of Purple Dragon Athletics on ESPN 100.7.
Does your current checking account pay you up to $15?
What do you want from your bank?
Access to my account information on my phone.
Security, convenience, and friendly staff.
When I call, I want to speak with a real person.
I want it all. Low fees, low loan rates, and high deposit rates.
What if there was a place like this in your community? There is. Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union, with locations in Pittsburg, Fort Scott, Independence, and Coffeyville, serving area residents since 1949.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you become part of something more.
We're a family of crimson and gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference.
Everybody wants to stand out.
Without standing apart.
You belong.
At Pittsburg State University.
CDL does more than just electrical work, like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Let's go back live courtside.
And we welcome you back courtside here on your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7. Ken Molina with Avi Sharma. She'll be right back at our KSHQ studio as we are joined by Chris Krotz, head girls basketball coach of the Pittsburg High School Purple Dragons. Coach, chiefly congratulations on a 56-25 victory against the visiting Girard Trojans. Chiefly, do you think that was the best game you guys have played this season, the most complete game thus far?
Yeah, I'd probably say so. Definitely on the defensive end. I thought that was our best overall game of defense through 4 quarters.
And Coach, one thing we saw implemented today was that full court press. It seems you guys executed well. Can you touch on that? Yeah,
we jumped out into a little man press, and we tried to keep the ball out of Crane's hands and see if we could kind of get after some of their other ball handlers, and worked pretty well and gave us an early boost, an early lead, and then they kind of started figuring it out, and so we just kind of dropped back from there and just played good half-court defense, and was really proud of our, more than anything, really proud of our half-court defense.
Well, Coach, we know about Madden Petty, we know about Abby Casper, Kidd, Matlock, but it seems some of the ancillary or tertiary players really stepped up tonight. Sophia Pinamani did a great job rebounding and finding open cutters. Odell off the bench performed brilliantly, 4 points, 4 rebounds. I know you brought Zoe Pinamani in, and she played some good minutes. Can you just touch on your bench tonight?
Yeah, just as the year's gone along and gotten to know the girls better, and implemented our defensive strategy and getting used to our offensive plays, and just our bench has been able to gain depth. Like I said on Tuesday, Ella Hendrickson's defense has improved. Her offensive side of the ball has always been fine, and so her game time, her PT has gone up, and that's kind of been the same with all those other ones. Just the more acclimated they've gotten with playing ball, they're whether it be taking care of the ball or knowing our offensive game plan or knowing the defensive game plan, as more girls have gotten comfortable, the more we've been able to play.
Well, Coach, you mentioned about getting to know the girls better. Can you touch on that cohesion? It seems that week in and week out, these girls are starting to develop a better rapport, and it's really showing on the court.
Well, that's all on them because they, they go to come to practice and they work hard, and when we're practicing 2.5 hours every night, it'd be easy to start wanting to tune me out, and they don't. They're engaged. They're in it. They wanna improve, and so that relationship's kind of has been easy because they've been willing to work and improve and get better, take criticism, take the bumps, take the adversity, and improve. And so I've been really proud of them.
Well, Coach, Border Classic next week. You have a little bit of time to prepare, but can you touch on that process from now until then before you hit that rigorous schedule, about 2 to 3 games?
Yeah, it's going to be getting ready for the next game up. Probably getting ready for the next game up, and at the same time, keeping one eye to the game after that and the game after that. And, I've got a great coaching staff, and they all help me out with film study, and we are very open with our discussions on what we think would work here, what we think would work here, and so I got a lot of eyes watching film, and so I said next week we're going to be playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. My staff's going to be helping me game plan, and we'll be ready to go.
Well, Coach, I appreciate the time, and again, congratulations, third victory of the year, and what was a 31-point victory.
We'll take it. Thank you very much.
Once again, that was the Pittsburg High School girls basketball coach Chris Crotch, largest victory of the year by 31 against the visiting Girard Trojans, led by Brad Herlocker and PSU commit in Sidney Crane. And we have the changing of the headsets now, Avi, as I have my favorite headset back on. I know I'm a brat when I do that. I take the headset that sounds better. I can hear in my ears a bit better compared to you, but you're such a good sport for letting me do that.
Hey, headset's a headset, my man. As long as I know they don't want to hear us, but as long as they can hear us, it's a
I thought you were going to go into about it's not about the headset, it's about the people talking into the headset. And I know I'm a bit underwhelming, but 3 minutes remaining before the beginning of the second half. Let's quickly go through the first half statistics. The Trojans on the road, leading by 7, 33-26, as they dominated the second quarter of action, outclassing Pittsburg High School a total of 18-10 in that scoring margin for the second quarter. Chase Curtis, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 3 points for Rolfs, 5 points for Elka Mill, including aboard Marquis English, 11 points, 2 points for Butcher, 5 points for Goff. Muya, 12 points, 9 rebounds, flirting with that double-double. Ferguson, 2 boards, Choiki, 7 points, 2 rebounds, and then Doherty, 4 points, a rebound, and Ryder Worrell, 5 points in the ball game. The Trojans have shot 3 of 3 from downtown in the ball game, 14 of 17. As for the Dragons, they are 3 of 7 from deep, 9 of 16 in the contest. The Dragons, to my count, as I have prefaced that time in and time out when bringing up this stat because it's just so stunning, 15-3 in the rebounding column in favor of the Trojans. Right now, Muya with 9 of the team's 15. Curtis with 2 of the team's 3 rebounds for the Dragons. That's credit to the Trojans keeping the ball out of the Dragons' hands. We are back in 2 minutes with the beginning of the third quarter of play here on your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Advanced technology, comprehensive quality care. That's Kennar Eye Care. We have the newest technology, but we never lose sight of what's most important, our patients. Eye care has changed dramatically in recent years, and we've been there for you every step of the way. At Kennar Eye Care, patients spend time with doctors. Total eye care from contact lenses, including bifocal contacts, treatment of disease, and surgical co-management. Kennar Eye Care, the clear choice.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
At Lindbergh Pharmacy, we care about your health. From a qualified and caring staff to services like our Time My Meds and MedPack programs, Lindbergh Pharmacy provides personalized service you can count on. Refill prescriptions online at lindberghpharmacy.com or on your smartphone with our free Lindbergh Pharmacy mobile app. You can also sign up for our text alert program and we'll text or email you when your prescription is ready. Can't make it to us? We'll deliver your medications right to your door. Lindbergh Pharmacy, now 2 locations to serve you.
The true test of a great insurance agency comes when you suffer a loss. It's easy to take your premiums, but Ray Ryan of Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh knows that handling your claim is the most important service an insured needs.
Claim is our chance to let the customer know that we'll be out there, not just that we sold them a policy, we'll also be there when a claim occurs to make sure it gets handled in an honest, respectable way.
Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh, a trusted choice agency. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Let's go back live.
Start of the third quarter, Dragons currently trailing 33-26, an air ball 3 by Goff, rebound by Muya. He now has a double-double on the night, blocked by English. And here is the counterattack by Butcher, kicks it right corner. Good job deterring the attention inside, and Wolves is able to drill a trifecta. He is now 2 of 3 from deep. And some good-looking offense to start this third quarter for the Dragons, who are now down 4 instead of 7. Avi Sharma, Shelby White back in our KSHQ studio. Cam Molina with you, whether you're joining us on the dial or on our website, ESPN100.7.com for the live stream. Muya misses left short corner, can't make the first shot, follows up with the second, still cannot convert. He now has 11 rebounds. This guy's so active off the glass. Whirl will double team English, as will Troike. They strip the ball away from the big 6'7" player. Right wing is Muya before he delivers a floater all the way over left wing to Whirl. After the fluttering pass, it will be Whirl defended by English. That's a mismatch, but Whirl will not take advantage. He looks for the backdoor cut. Troike pulls up inside the key. Follow away too good. Troike now with 9 points, 2 rebounds, 35-29 to score. Dragons trail by 6 at home. 6:40 left in the third. Butcher right wing works it right corner. Rolf brings the ball above his head, cocks it, looks low for English. Rolf gets it right back. He wants to test the range once again, test the waters of the 3. Misses. Curtis on the weak side tries to come up with the rebound. It is off him. Trojan basketball. Goff in the backcourt works it back over to Troike, who is a surefire ball handler, great with that ball security, does not have a turnover tonight, wearing his white and maroon Nikes. Bounce past the one-timer to Muya. Muya works it to Whirl, right corner. He scans for Ferguson, left corner, Goff, and Goff steps out of bounds. And Coach Westcott, in disbelief, he looks at the official saying, how did he step out of bounds? Is the sideline all the way up to the free throw line? Is that what you think? 35-29 the score, 6 to go in the third quarter of play. Dragons down 6. Butcher trying to rewrite today's script, as it has been all Trojans from the second quarter and early on in the third. A skip pass by Elkamil from the far side, short corner to Butcher, over to Curtis, back to Butcher. His 3 well off the mark, and he was nowhere near the goal. Muya trying to navigate in transition as he meanders inside. He double clutches right block, misses. English with his first rebound of the night. Muya is now 5 of 8 shooting, following 2 misses in this third quarter of play. And then a pull-up deuce by Elkamil does not fall. Rebounded by Troike, finds Goff. Goff tries to go with the reverse. More hands in the face of the following Ferguson. He is unable to convert as he misses his shot. Right block is English on the offensive end. Left wing working with the sphere is Wolves. Finds Curtis at the point. Looks for English. Left block. Spins inside. Ferguson just does not have the leaping power to keep up vertically with English. Uses his length to battle Ferguson midair. Scores. And 1 opportunity. That is 2 on Ferguson. You really can't blame Ferguson. English did have a step on the spin, but just the athleticism favoring English in a monumental fashion. English brings the ball, waist level, flicks and scores. He is 5 of 7 from the stripe tonight. In the backcourt, Ferguson, he works it back to Muya as he makes his way past the timeline. He dribbles with his left hand, crosses over below his knees, left to right, has Ferguson at the point, pass fake to Whirl. Troike asking for the basketball as Carter Doherty's at the left elbow as he subbed in for Goff. Backdoor cut by Whirl. He tries to go with the little right-hand floater, and then Ferguson crashes the glass. No, excuse me, it's Troike crashing the glass. He was about as high as Ferguson would have been. Same blonde hair, same style. goes up, tries to dip it in, and he's fouled. And that is the second on English. Free throw goes up, but does not go down. 35-32 the score, under 5 to go in the third. Troike has a second opportunity. Troike sets himself, right foot staggered in front of his left, flicks and scores. He has 10 points, 3 rebounds. 36-32 is the score currently, and the Dragons trail by 4. Elkamil jab step to his right. Butcher saying, hey, everybody on the left side of the court start to flare out a little bit. Curtis catches, left elbow, finds Rolfs, right wing, drills it. And Drew Rolfs, 2 3-pointers in this third quarter. His team only down 1 now, 36-35, 4:30 left in the third. Ferguson pass fake, ball above his head, delivers a waist-high pass to Worrell before he finds Troike near side, short corner towards the near side of the court as the Trojan offense works from right to left on their dial and around the cylinder from left to right as Ferguson has it, left short corner, and the Dragon student section going ballistic. And a timeout used by Coach Westcott, and subsequently that is greeted by even more cheers from the Dragon student section as we are at the halfway point of the third quarter. 36-35 is the score. Dragons down 1 at home in what has been a sublime CNC SEK challenge. We are back in 30 ticks with your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
Are you tired of all those confusing checking account options? The Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union makes your choice simple. We only have one option. Our checking account has no monthly fees, and if you maintain a $2,000 minimum balance, we pay you interest. Get the Credit Union Advantage at 416 North Broadway or call 620-231-5719 for more information. Deposits are federally insured by NCUA up to $250,000.
Stream this online at ESPN1007.com.
Whether you are joining us on the dial or on our web stream at ESPN100.7.com, Avi Sharma, Shelby White, Cam Molina with you for this Friday night clash of 2 league powers in Southeast Kansas as the Trojans and Dragons going at it at each other's throat. The hometown Dragons down 1, 36-35. Muya catches, right short corner, ball stolen away from Ferguson by Butcher. A chance to change the tide. Butcher leads English too far. It's Rolfs, right corner, swings it to Elkamil, and he swishes it. Elkamil now 2 or 3 from deep, and the counterattack begins for the Dragons as they're outscoring the Trojans so far in this third quarter, 12-3. And Rolfs called for a foul, attempting to go away with the larceny call to the police. It's a foul on him as he tried to rip Ferguson. It's the first on Rolfs, and it's the second on the Dragons. Inbounds, left side of the goal from Goff, stolen by Curtis. He has Elkamil trailing. Elkamil gives it right back to Curtis as Muya was there to defend, but Curtis blows the lay-in. It was a bunny. Troike with the board. And a travel by Curtis. He came away with the steal. No, excuse me. I think it was Troike who just walked with it, but the pressure was applied by Curtis. Curtis just frustrated after missing that layup, so his teammates come to console him. Good defense by Muya on that fast break opportunity. Muya has been all over the floor tonight, 12 points, 11 rebounds. He is arguably one of the best guards in Southeast Kansas right now. Jab step by Elkamil. He goes with 2 head fakes, bringing the ball from his belly button to his torso, and then Butcher travels with it at the apex of the arc. And Coach Rolfs telling Butcher, don't hold on to it, just pass it. Under 3 to go in the third, 38-36. Dragons lead by 2 at home. And the band section for the Dragons now stomping their feet with the student section. It's an uncanny synchronization. Ferguson, free throw line inside that circle, finds a cutting Muya. Muya wheels away from Butcher, pull up, right hand floater, and those arms. My goodness, a country mile long. 6 and 9 from the floor, 14 points, 11 rebounds. Butcher flips it. He has English right block out to Rolfs. Sweat! And Drew Rolfs, the right corner trifecta falls. Rolfs has been sublime tonight. 4 of 6 from deep, and he has given the Dragons the lift they've needed. 12 points in the ball game. 41-38 the score, a 3-point lead for the Dragons. 2 to go in the third. Choiki stops, pops from the right block, short. Rebounded by English before he scoops it over to Elkamil in transition. Air ball chance rained down from the student section. Rolfs tries to go with the heat check 3 from the far corner. English with the offensive board, his third rebound on the night. Now another 3 from Elkamil, no. Curtis with the offensive rebound and a foul committed by Ferguson. Ferguson was trying to wrestle the ball away from Curtis. 3 on Ferguson now. As Worrell is set to check back in for the Trojans with $1:40 left in the third and a 3-point lead for the Dragons.
And you're starting to see, Cameron, the Purple Dragons finding out how to get the rebounds now finally. They're starting to get back up on that scale.
Butcher works it around, right corner, Rolfs again. Oh, that was his hot spot the last 2 makes. After he misses, Curtis gives Rolfs a chance to wheel inside, grab his own offensive rebound and finish. Rolfs 4 of 8 from deep. 5 of 9 tonight in scoring. He has 14 points. He's tied for the game lead in scoring with Muya and English. Muya scoops a pass over to Goff, who tries to wheel left side of the floor. His team down 5. Goff harassed back to the midcourt line. Goff has a head full of seam to the right side of the window and scores. Goff would not be denied on that lay-in. He's 2 of 3 from inside the horseshoe, 1 of 2 from deep. 43-40 to score, under a minute to go. And then Gavin Elkamil with possibly one of the most beautiful reverse layups I've seen in a long time as he attacked from near side short corner to the left side block and finished with the left hand. English double teams Doherty following the pass from Muya, trying to attack the paint. Grant and Austin sub in for Butcher and Curtis, so some subs come in, and you can just tell this Girard team is gassed, breathing heavily. That's illustrated by Ferguson, who is just trying to catch his breath. Muya scanned, inbounds, has Goff, who whips it over right wing, following the sling one-handed from Goff. It's Worrell going to work, defended by the freshman and Grant. He spins away from Grant. Grant providing good minutes just as a freshman. Rolf steals it, tips it away, flips it in the backcourt. Doherty goes up right-handed, scores, and basket interference by English with 27 seconds to go. Regardless, Doherty's shot goes in. Doherty took an entire calendar year to get that shot off. As Rolf saved it, it was Doherty who goes with a power dribble, sets his feet, then scores. English came stampeding in, and now Coach Rod Westcott saying that shot went in. It should have been a foul and 1 because English climbed over the back of Doherty. I understand the argument. The officials are saying it was basket interference instead. I can understand both sides. Yep. I really can.
Absolutely. The main thing to know about that, though, is both players were okay because that looked like a scary situation.
Yes. I'm glad you added that point. As both players hit the hard wood. Grant has it at the point 18 seconds ago, nearly airmails it into the student section as he looked for Rolfs. Tried to go with a no-look pass to Austin, stolen by Muya. Muya looks ahead, and Grant, who tries to go with the rip, too late. Muya goes in with the lay-in, and Coach Westcott trying to bring in the pressure with 5 ticks left. He's saying we want to bring that full court press so there's no funny business by the Dragons. Elkamil has a chance to heave. 3 seconds left. Instead, he goes inside the key, left-handed, no. Ball still loose, and that is it. Through 3 quarters, we have a climatic contest. As Shelby White back at her KSHQ studio would say, this is in line with a barn burner within 1 point. 45-44, the Dragons lead by 1, heading into the final play of climatic action from the Valley of Dragons. We are back in 30 seconds with your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent Cousins with SEK Urgent Care. When you're sick, when you're injured, or when you just don't feel like yourself, SEK Urgent Care is here for you. Let our skilled providers treat your non-life-threatening illness or injury at a fraction of the time and cost of an ER visit. Located at the corner of Centennial and Broadway in the Meadowbrook Commons, open 7 days a week for your convenience. SEK Urgent Care, where your family and time matter. Find us fast on names and numbers.
High school basketball on ESPN 100.7.
The difference has been in passion, intensity, and execution. The Trojans have all 3 of those factors nailed down against an overwhelming Pittsburg High School opponent on paper. Right now, the Dragons at home only lead by 1, to 44. And Rod Westcott, you cannot commend him enough for coaching this young group of men who are top 10 in Class 4A D2 in the state of Kansas, taking on a top 5 team in Class 5A in the state of Kansas in the Pittsburg High School Purple Dragons. You're going up 2 classifications on the road in hostile territory, only down 1. They let it break 33-26, but it was a third quarter dominated by Drew Rolls as he hit 3 trifectas. Butcher slings a pass right corner to Rolfs. That's been his hot spot, if you will, all night. Elkamill up fake. He thought he had a straightaway 3, but reverses back out, trying to size up Worrell. Crosses over left to right, and then delivers a chest pass over to Curtis, who resets it to Butcher. Butcher looks for Elkamill, left corner. He jab steps right foot, defended by Worrell. Butcher gets inside the horseshoe. Right circles English, up fake, goes inside, nearly a foul on Muya. Curtis with the board, kicks it out. Butcher steps into a 3, nails it as it rattles home. Jarek Butcher, 1 of 3 from downtown, and a big rebound by Chase Curtis following the miss by Marquis English. 48-44 the score. Goff brings the ball to his right ear, listening to it like a conch shell. And a foul. No, a travel by Muya. I thought Curtis would be called for the hand check in the Dragon fan section. As we talked about it multiple times, Avi, really has been the 6th man, if you will, on the floor tonight, impacting some of the relays between Coach Westcott and his players on the floor. Elkamill will attack left short corner, will go to the right block, tries to go with the reverse lay-in, does not score. Rebound by Muya, his 12th of the night. Muya thought about pulling up, kicks it, Goff left corner, nails the trifecta. So Goff now 2 of 3 from deep. He has 10 in the contest, and a 1-point game once more. Butcher looks, has Curtis left elbow right back to Butcher, sets his feet, 3 on its way as he tried to cast out. Nothing was reeled in for the Fishermen. Ferguson was able to grab the defensive rebound, his 2nd of the night. Butcher drops to 1 of 4 from deep. And now another left corner 3 by Goff does not go. English with his 4th rebound of the night. We are talking a hectic style of basketball, frenetic from both sides. And a timeout used by Coach Rolfs. He wants to wrangle in his guys. Not really trying to bridle them by any means, but maybe come out with more of a composed, methodical set of play after this timeout, because the Trojans have really dictated the pace throughout this entire contest, and they have the means to run up and down the floor. It's not as if the Dragons do not, but it seems to be more the Trojan style. A quick recap of the scoring. Both team leaders, 16 points for Caleb Muya, including 12 boards. Both Rolfs and English, 14 apiece. But one of the differences tonight, as that's how we led into the 4th quarter, has also been rebounds. 20-10, a +10 margin for the Trojans. 12 rebounds by Caleb Muya tonight. You cannot talk about that young man enough, just a junior, and I think he's going to get some nods for a CNC all-first team player.
Yeah, I agree. He is just phenomenal. And, you know, I like comparing people to the upper level. I compare him to Anthony Davis because of that wingspan and the hands that he has. It is just unbelievable how he can reach with those hands of his to do layups and grab amazing rebounds. For sure, an easy double-double for him today. I think he got it, late 2nd quarter, early 3rd quarter?
Something like that. Yeah. He had 9 at halftime.
So, phenomenal showing for him. But, you know, again, this Pittsburgh team, the home court advantage is what's making a factor right now, Cameron, to give them a 1-point advantage.
The Dragons, their last 2 games, have won by a combined 54 points. They lead by 1 right now. They won by 39 against the Fort Scott Tigers and then beat the Grizzlies by 15 on Tuesday. Butcher gets it as he teeters between the front court and backcourt. Nearly a backcourt violation. Right corner rolls, works it back around to Butcher, who delivers a beeline pass on a frozen rope to Elkamill to Curtis, left corner. Elkamill brings the ball back above his head, and then Elkamill tells Curtis to find English, and he just strong arms his way past Ferguson for the finish. Absolutely schoolyard bully. Ferguson just gave English his lunch money. 50-47, under 5:50 to go. Dragons at home lead by 3. Muya sizing up Curtis, goes with an in-and-out move with the right hand, stops right elbow. Elkamill gets a hand in, and it will be off of Muya, Dragon basketball. And Muya wanted a foul. Doherty will come in for Ferguson. Ferguson sleight of frame. English is as well for a 6'7" player, but he does have more muscle than Ferguson, and he has just been bullying Ferguson when he's had the chance on the block. Just 1-2 power dribbles and is right at the hole. 5:30 left in the contest, 50-47. Butcher steps in for a deep two, nails it. Butcher with no hesitation inside the free throw line and uncorked a two. Butcher now with 7, 1 of 4 from deep as Goff crosses the prime meridian. He has Troike left wing. Troike, keep in mind, has 3 fouls, as does Ferguson. Far side wing as well before Doherty catches it right wing. Muya jab steps left, goes right to the free throw line, works it back to Whirl, sells the up fake. Now he goes to the straightaway 3, leaves it short. Elkamil slaps it out of bounds. Last touch by the Dragons. And that was pretty evident. Elkamil saying that he thought it was Trojan basketball, or saying it was Dragons basketball. The Trojans were ready to inbound, and now the decision's reversed. That one's pretty close. 52-47 the score. Dragons lead it by 5. Under 5 to go on the fourth. The Trojan and Dragons leaving it all on the table tonight. Left corner, Rolfs, contested 3. That one saucers out. Rebound by Troike. Curtis rips it away out of the hands of Troike. Kicks it back out to Butcher, who's scaling into the front court. Right back to Rolfs in the left corner. Back to Butcher. Left wing 3. Good! Jarek Butcher and the rest of the Dragons finding their rhythm here in the fourth. What a sequence. From Curtis to Rolfs to Butcher, and a timeout used by Coach Westcott. 55-44, the Dragons regaining, rekindling the magic that has been with them throughout most of this season. And in 2018, this team has been absolutely devastating, winning their last 2 matchups against league opponents by a combined 54 points. They lead by 8 with 4:21 left in the contest against the visiting Trojans. We are back in 30 ticks with the last 4:21 of action here on your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
At Lindbergh Pharmacy, we care about your health. From a qualified and caring staff to services like our Time My Meds and MedPack programs, Lindbergh Pharmacy provides personalized service you can count on. Refill prescriptions online at lindberghpharmacy.com or on your smartphone with our free Lindbergh Pharmacy mobile app. You can also sign up for our text alert program and we'll text or email you when your prescription is ready. Can't make it to us? We'll deliver your medications right to your door. Lindbergh Pharmacy, now 2 locations to serve you.
High school basketball on ESPN 100.7.
The maroon and yellow Sporting Trojans, after leading at halftime by 7, went into the fourth quarter only down 1 against a top-ranked team in Class 5A in the state of Kansas. The Trojans themselves also a top 10 team in Class 4A D2, but going up against a school that has a larger student body and is 2 classifications higher. After trailing by 1 entering the fourth, they are now down by 8, 55-47. Avi Sharma, Shelby White, Camelina with you. Gavin Elkamil play resumes, steals the basketball, has a little bit of room, goes up with a right-hand layup, and it's up to 10, which ties the Trojans' largest lead of the night. Goff goes with the up fake following the Elkamil make in the left corner, and then Jarek Butcher steals the ball following a skip pass to Whirl. Butcher will reset the offense as he maneuvers back near the midcourt line towards the near sideline and closest to the scorer's table. A dart right wing to Rolfs. Rolfs steps through, finds Curtis at the apex. He relocates the basketball to Elkamil. Rolfs jab steps right, then he'll go right. He has a little bit of room, but the crease quickly shores up as Troike's there on the help defensive side of things. Rolf rips through from left hip to right, pulls up on the 2. Doherty comes up with the rebound. Doherty, 6 points, 2 rebounds tonight. In transition, Whirl wide open. He leaked into the backfield, and Whirl inconspicuously made himself available on the right block and scored. He has 7 points. He's 1 of 2 from deep, 2 of 2 from inside the horseshoe. Back inside single digits. Skip pass. Curtis, left block, scores. Whirl looks behind him in the backcourt, and he has Troike, a sure-handed ball handler with the sphere in his right hand, dumps it off, right corner to Whirl. Whirl looks, scans from the far corner, continues to look as he prospects, he meanders inside the key. The quick cantering Whirl as he tried to recover it, has the ball stolen by English, thrown off the shoulder of Whirl. It goes out of bounds. Dragon basketball, savvy move from the senior forward in English. 10-point ball game skill, 59-49. Full court press shown by the Trojans, but the Dogs are called off as Butcher waves off the rest of his comrades. Scoop pass to Rolfs, right wing. He'll take about 3-4 steps away now from the top of the yard. Right wing Butcher. Back to Curtis at the point, and the Dragons really doing a great job whittling down the clock. Left wing, Rolf's thought about stepping into a three, but now he will be a bit more reserved. Finds Elkamil left wing, and it looks like he may have been fouled as he was fouled by Troike, and that's Troike's fourth.
Cameron, that's 3 team fouls for Girard and only 2 for PHS late in the fourth.
Inbound, a beautiful one from Butcher and Curtis as they capitalize off the lackadaisical defense of the Trojans. 61-49 the score, still a 12-point contest, plenty of time to come back for the Trojans. Worlds can change the complexion of the game here, but he airballs the 3. Rebounded by Elkamil. World goes down to 1 at 3, shooting from deep, and the airball chance rain from the student section for Pittsburg High School. Under 2 to go, and the Trojans, who have fought this entire game, starting to lose that fighting spirit. English brings the ball behind his back, towards his lower back, just above his right buttocks. English crosses over in front of Doherty, goes from right to left. Doherty still hangs on to him. Ball rotated right wing, and working with it right now, it will be English still. Back to Gavin Elkamil. Elkamil defended by Muya. One-hand floater pass left wing to Rolfs. English has it again. Wraparound pass. Elkamil goes. Finds Curtis. Power dribble. Inside. Misses the bunny. Troike last to touch it on the attempted rebound. And Curtis has missed 2 of those 2-foot shots. Ferguson comes back in, off to the bench. My goodness, what a game this has been. Quite a product for all that have been listening tonight. As your ears have not been graced by myself, but by the battle between the Dragons and the Trojans, as English catches it off the inbound power dribble foul and 1. 18-4 for English tonight. 18 points, 4 rebounds on 6 of 9 shooting from the floor. And English goes to the free throw line, shooting his 8th shot of the night, and he converts. 64-49, the Dragons up 15. This game seems over at this rate. Troike turns it over. Elkamil with numbers, has English, elevates for the one-hand flush. And Elkamil, as well as the rest of the Dragons, push it forward to Marquis English. Their hopes with him, flushes it home. And that seems to be the nail in the coffin as Doherty's found underneath the basket with 45 ticks to go. And the student section ratcheted up in intensity following the highlight reel dunk by English. 17-point lead for the Dragons. They have run away in this 4th quarter of action, outscoring the Trojans in this final quarter of play 21-6. Alex Kaska, Isaac Leverins, Javon Grant, Tristan Austin all sub in for the Dragons. And a new set of faces for the Trojans as well. Zane Henderson will check in. Dylan Collins on the hardwood, flanked by Caden Lalaman. And in the backcourt is Taylor Bruning, I beg your pardon. Doherty's free throw as he raises the ball to his forehead and flicks scores. Doherty goes 2 of 2 from the stripe. And Coach Westcott knows it's the end of this contest as he angrily, in an irked fashion, slaps his hands together. And Caleb Muya talking with his teammates on the bench. Coach Westcott saying that we should keep our heads held high. We have some things to work on, but my goodness, what a great game from the Trojans. It ultimately came down to the amount of reserves as Austin works his way inside, a foul on the floor, and he nearly stepped on top of Henderson. 21 seconds left in the ball game, 66-51 the score, and Coach Westcott, I don't know if he's yelling at the officials or...
He was wanting it to be an on-the-floor foul, and that's exactly what the referees just changed it.
So Henderson will pick up his first. Grant relocates at right corner. Kafka's 3 short, and it will go off the piping that holds up the goal here inside Pittsburg High School's gymnasium, and inbound into the backcourt, I beg your pardon. Bruning with the sphere, defended by Grant, crosses over right to left. The swift Bruning looks, scans, keeps the ball in the left short corner, finds an open Henderson, bounce past the Bruning from Henderson, and that's all she wrote. The Dragons had a scare throughout the first 3 quarters of play, but take care of business in the fourth, closing out the ball game on a 21-6 run. Final score 66-51. We are back in 2 minutes with the final look at the statistics, and then we'll be joined by Pittsburg High School boys basketball coach Kylie Rolfs on the postgame show. We are back with more here on your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
When the lights come up on Friday and Saturday nights at high schools and colleges across the region, it's often on a field built by Crossland Construction. Many Crossland employees played on those fields and were educated in the schools that are thriving parts of our communities today. Crossland is a proud supporter of area athletics and urges you to be a part of your local school community. Many of the athletes playing today may help Crossland build across our region in the future. Check out career opportunities at crossland.com. Crossland Construction, build you.
When you get engaged and need to pay for the wedding, when you have a baby and need to start that college savings account, it seems like the best moments in life can come with some real financial challenges. What's yours? At Commerce Bank, we find solutions so you can focus on enjoying life. Visit us online at commercebank.com or at a branch near you. Commerce Bank, challenge accepted. Member FDIC.
No one wants to file for bankruptcy, but a wage garnishment can make it hard to pay the rent, pay the pharmacy, or even feed the family. Bankruptcy can be a viable option to help families cope with unfortunate and unforeseen financial hardship. Call Steve Stockert at Wilbert & Towner, 620-231-5620 for a consultation to find out if bankruptcy is the right choice for you and your family. Call today. Wilbert & Towner, a full-service law firm, 620-231-5620. We are a debt relief agency, helping people find the relief they need in bankruptcy. Does your current checking account pay you up to $15 per month? With Common Sense Checking at University Bank, you can earn up to $15 per statement cycle, 10 cents for each swipe after the first 15 swipes. Qualifying is so easy. Simply have one direct deposit or auto payment plus 15 debit card purchases each statement cycle and a $100 opening deposit. Stop by the bank for more information about our Common Sense Checking. Then swipe and save. It's convenience that pays at University Bank. Branch GMB. Member FDIC.
High school basketball on ESPN 100.7.
Fans starting to leave the premises, Pittsburg High School. Everybody vacating the gym following a 66-51 win for Kylie Rolfs Dragons. And although it is a 15-point victory on the scoreboard, this game was so close until the closing moments when the Dragons absolutely decimated the Trojans because of their truncated, abbreviated bench in the fourth quarter. Let's quickly go through the game stats here on your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7. Chase Curtis for the Dragons, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 14 points for Drew Rolfs, and he was one of many catalysts, but the primary one in the third quarter to get this Dragon team going as he knocked down 3 3-pointers, shot 4 of 8 from downtown, 1 of 1 from inside the horseshoe. In total, a 5 of 9 shooting endeavor tonight. 12 points for Gavin Elkamil, 21 points, 4 rebounds for Marquis English. Jarek Butcher, 10 points, and he hit 2 3-pointers in the third quarter as well. The Dragons as a whole, plus 5 in 3-pointers made, and then plus 11 in attempts. So it kind of balances out in the end, but that's still an additional 15 points in the back pocket of the Dragons because of those big third quarter threes. As for the Trojans, who dropped to 500 on the season, 4-4, 10 points for Ethan Goff, and then I praised him several times throughout the broadcast, though for me it doesn't mean too much, but Caleb Muya is a significant talent in the CNC, and I think in the entirety of the southeast region in the state of Kansas. 16 points, 12 rebounds. He averages about 23 and 11, so Coach Rolfs and company, good job keeping him in check, but he shot efficiently tonight, 7 of 11, 2 of 2 from the free throw line in this tough loss following an overtime win against another SEK school in Parsons, who the Dragons will take on later this season for the second time. 2 rebounds for Brett Ferguson. Evan Troike, 10 points, 5 rebounds. Carter Doherty, 8 points, 2 rebounds. And then Ryder Worrell, 7 points in the ballgame on 4 of 5 shooting. The Dragons were out-rebounded throughout a vast majority of the night, and to my count, which I don't think is correct, but My approximation is that the Trojans still out-rebounded the Dragons by a +8 margin. I have on my stat sheet +11 right now, but I think if you were to work in some of those last-second rebounds, I think it's about +8. But the Trojans did a splendid job off the glass tonight, really manhandling Curtis and English inside throughout a majority of the first half before finally Coach Rolfs at the intermission said we have to get back to our roots and attack inside, and that ended up opening the outside game and really paid dividends down the stretch. Let's quickly go through the scoring by quarter. It was 16-15. The Dragons led throughout the first quarter of action. There were no lead changes, but it was in the second quarter that Girard usurped the Dragons from that lead and took the lead into halftime by 7, 33-26, but it was a third quarter that featured about 2 lead changes. The Dragons took it into the fourth quarter up 145-44. So if we are to look at the scoring from halftime up until the final from both teams, the Dragons in the second half nearly doubled their production. They put up 40 points in the second half compared to the 18 from the Trojans. So a good job from Coach Rolfs making adjustments in the second half for Pittsburg High School. And what is their 6th victory of the year. They have a tough challenge ahead of them as they will take a Central Ozark team on at home in the Border Classic on Wednesday of next week. It will be the nightcap. To my knowledge, as the schedule has just been released, the game will be at 7:30 following the 5:45 matchup from the girls' side, as it will be Tulsa East Central that the Dragons girls will take on at 5:45 following the boys against the Bulldogs, all at home. And the Border Classic will run from, Thursday the 18th, I beg your pardon, from Thursday all the way until Saturday. So we have some weekend action to bring to you next week, and that will be a lot of fun, Avi, as we will be able to witness some big-time teams, including some from Kansas City, put on an exhibition, if you will, in front of a lot of fans that are coming to pay to see a show. And making his way over is the Pittsburg High School boys basketball coach, Kylie Rolfs. And once again, a 66-51 victory for the Dragons. And to reintroduce him, once again, we are joined by the Pittsburg High School boys basketball coach, Kylie Rolfs. Coach, I know that's not the way you want the victory to go, but it's a win either way. Can you talk about the adjustments heading into the second half since you outscored the Trojans 40-18 between the third and fourth quarter?
Well, the first thing I want to do is just throw a ton of love at Coach Westcott and Girard. I mean, they came out and played their butts off. We had to do everything. We did everything we could to be able to come away with that win. That, the final score is 15. We won by 15, but it wasn't. That is not indicative of that game and the way their kids played. Coach, and this isn't an anomaly for Coach Westcott. He does a great job, and this is just another one of his very, very well coached teams. And number 10 for them is a heck of a basketball player. And us dealing with him a little bit better in the second half was a big key to your initial question and kind of what happened. Chase, I thought, just did a great job on him in the second half. We really limited their rebounding, was probably the biggest difference. That's what we talked about at halftime is, the only way we're going to win this game is if we change around the rebound story, which was not only stopping them from getting them, but we had to get more on our offensive end. We didn't get, it didn't feel like any in the first half, but I thought that story changed in the second half, and that was a big key. Obviously, they played a lot of zone, and us finally knocking down some shots like we're capable of doing it, really loosened that zone up and gave us a chance to get that spread.
Coach, you have a very veteran-laden team that can set their own tempo, but it seems that you're playing into the Trojans' tempo tonight. Can you touch on that?
Well, they and that goes back to the type of team they are. They did dictate that tempo in the first half. Luckily, we dictated tempo in the second half. And we knew that if we played at their tempo, that they were going to be a load to deal with, and that's exactly what it was for 16 minutes, and plus, because it definitely went in third quarter some. But I was proud of the fact that our guys, I don't think, blinked either. I didn't think Girard blinked all night, but I don't think our guys did either. I thought we were able to maintain our composure. We didn't get frustrated. We just kind of hung in there until we were going to make a run, and I felt like we would make a run, and we did. But when when you play a team like that, you have to do some things to try to dictate tempo, and luckily we were able to get that done in the second half.
Well, Coach, when you talk about all the factors that played into the swinging of momentum, I know you touched on the 3-ball there. How imperative was that tonight? I know maybe you didn't expect it, but Rolls coming in big, as did Butcher. Can you just talk about how big that weapon was for you tonight?
Well, I mean, it is expected to a certain extent. We know we have guys that can shoot the basketball without a question. And so, one thing we talked about at halftime, too, was those guys need to be more aggressive. I mean, Fort Scott was in a zone. They were trying to protect the paint. And I felt like we passed up some shots that we needed to be stepping into ready to shoot in the first half. So that was another thing we talked about, and our guys did do that a lot more aggressively in the second half. And we got guys that when they shoot in rhythm can knock down shots. And when a team is playing defense the way they were playing, that's what has to happen. And fortunately it did.
Coach, if you will, in a regular week next week, you don't play on Tuesday, you have a matchup on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Border Classic held here. Can you just walk me through the steps preparing for that, and in addition, the rigors that your guys will have to go through during a 3-game stretch that spans over 3 days?
Well, the good news is everybody has to go through that 3-game stretch, and it's a tournament setup. I mean, that is when you go to a tournament, that's what happens, and it can happen in a sub-state, although you usually have a day off. It can happen in a state tournament, so on and so forth. So it's a great experience, and we're going to have great teams coming to Pittsburgh next week, and it'll take us 3 days to get ready for that tournament. I'll promise you that, because it's going to be high competition. We hope to see a lot of people come out because there'll be a lot of good basketball to see. Our guys will be excited about it. I have no doubts about that. And like I said, we have we'll take Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday to get ready to go play for 3 days straight. It'll be a lot of fun.
Coach Kylie Rolfs, head boys basketball coach of the Pittsburg High School Purple Dragons and pitchman for the Border Classic, which will be taking place this Thursday through Saturday inside the confines of Pittsburg High School. Coach, I appreciate the time, and again, congratulations on the 6th victory of the year.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Once again, that was Kylie Rolfs, head boys basketball coach of Pittsburg High School. As we wrap it up here from Pittsburg High School, final score 66-51. The Girard Trojan boys fall on the road. Rod Westcott receiving high praise from Coach Rolfs, and what was a 15-point win for the Dragons. And as Coach Rolfs again said, the score not indicative of how this game went. It was close throughout until the fourth quarter when the Dragons took over, just because of their sheer amount of bench players and some of those threes falling. And then on the girls' side, Coach Krotz and company pick up their 3rd win on the season, advancing to 3-6 and dropping Brad Herlocker and the Trojans to 4-3 on the year in a 56-25 victory. Avi, any final thoughts?
I mean, hats off to all 4 teams tonight that played. It was just it was fun, Cameron. It was very, very fun to watch everybody. You got to love the effort from every single player on the court, and then the best part about it is you got to love the sportsmanship and the respect from both sides. I don't know if the camera saw it, but you saw all the coaches shaking hands and everything. But the best part about it was Coach Westhoff and Coach Rolfs were just having a good time after the game. It was a hard, intense matchup, but in the end, they're all great guys. They all know that they love doing this, and they all had fun while doing it. And this is definitely a learning curve for both teams. I really don't think that 4-4 record shows how good Girard really is. I think that team is very, very talented. Give them next year. They're going to be something to look out for. And then PHS, great way to end the weekend. Have fun, relax, come back into it. It's going to be a great tournament. I believe it's going to be the first time for you and I next week, so we're looking forward to that one.
So once again, special thanks to Jeff Staley, AD for the Pittsburg High School Purple Dragons, getting us set up tonight and hooked up with the internet. Special thanks to Shelby White back at our KSHQ studio for keeping us on air, as well as Heath Atkins and Mike Snow. From Avi Sharma, I'm Cam Molina. Have fun, be safe. We will see you all Thursday for the Border Classic. You've been listening to your sports headquarters, ESPN 100.7.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent Cousins.